Running. It's the OD in the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
I guess it all started when we
traded up. Got Stephanie for A. Marie. That's when the trade started at the draft, and they kept going and going and going. We sent A. Marie to Vegas. We got Stephanie, some Vital coffee, maybe some Jolly Ranchers, and hopefully some, I don't know, is there sweet deal food today? Wow, what a circus yesterday in Vegas, huh? 200, I don't know, I heard 100,000, I heard 200,000, I heard 500,000. All I know is a boatload of persons were in Vegas yesterday. You can critique the style, you can critique the picks. Marie's going to join us somewhere around 9:30, I think, right? I mean, that's kind of the plan. Good morning to you. Happy Friday, final Friday, April 2. When I signed in today, did it say April 29th? Like, is it going to be May on Sunday, for crying out loud?
Is that wild?
It's beyond wild. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Stephanie's in for A. Marie. Adrian on the TV side. What's up, dude? You living?
What'd it do?
What'd you think of the draft?
Dude, I love it. The spectacle, just the hope, the energy.
Yeah.
Like looking at all these college athletes and thinking they're going to save your franchise. There's nothing like it in sports where you can have that much enjoyment. You have that many people show up just to tell you, hey, this is what you used to do at recess, but we're just doing it in Las Vegas now.
Yeah.
You get to play here and you get to play there.
I think it's a reason for football fans to have a mid-off-season rager, right? It's like so when I was at San Diego State, every Friday – I haven't thought about this in years, but I just realized, JJ, this is kind of what it reminds me of. So every Friday, one of the frat clubs at the DU house would have something called the TG. They would TGIF, right? And everybody would start their Friday partying at the DU TG. And it was overlooking. So you know where you were when you went to Viejas? Okay, Viejas is sitting kind of in Aztec Bowl. And so overlooked that old Aztec Bowl football stadium. There were a bunch of fraternity houses there, but people would just go there, and it was just it looked like that, right? Although much smaller, big backyard, and it kind of that reminds me of hey, it's everybody from everywhere else, right? Our team, I'm Lions fans with Vikings fans. Well, that didn't happen, and Ravens fans and Raiders fans and Giants fans and maybe sprinkling a Ram fan, and everybody get together and have a off-season rager. Oh, and by the way, they're having the selections. It's kind of what it reminds me of. Just a reason to go party. And they did Nashville. I mean, they've done two of the most fun cities in the world the last 2 years, right? Didn't they do Nashville last time they did this?
Yes, and you're right. It's a party, but it's hope.
Yeah.
And you sell hope to a fan base in the off season.
Yeah.
That the hope for the future, hope for change, hope this is the piece that solidifies what your team has been doing. And you said the added bonus is doing it in a big-time party city. You have a little bit of fun.
I tell you, a big-time party city, too. All right. There was so much in this. By the way, in case you missed it, and let me give you like news that matters also. In case you missed it or forgot, the NBA playoffs also happened yesterday and 3 teams advanced. The Suns beat the Pelicans 115-109. Chris Paul didn't miss a shot last night, JJ. Didn't miss a shot last night. Devin Booker was back. 76ers were tired of hearing the noise about their coach and how he couldn't finish and how he blows leads. They beat the Raptors in Canada by 35, 132-97. They move on. And the Dallas Mavericks finished off the Jazz in Salt Lake City last night, 98-96 to close out the first round. So that also happened, just in case you forgot. You were too busy watching dudes in tight suits, as Stephanie's son said, or partiers or whatever. All right, highlight. Give me one thing, because I know what it is for me, but what is it for you? What stood out for you?
I think the realization of what the top of this draft was all about.
Okay.
When you saw 5 defensive players go off the board in the first 5 picks. It was a shakeup. It was different. But for me, you know, if I happen to be an NFL GM, even though I'm an armchair GM, top 10, I always look at it. All right, if you need a quarterback, get one. Well, there wasn't that dude for these teams. So it goes to protecting the quarterback and then attacking the quarterback. And that was a theme early in this draft.
What stand out for me is a stud receiver got moved, not Marquise Brown, although that surprised me. What stood out for me is the Eagles trading or trading for A.J. Brown and paying him $100 million and getting that deal done. And then the Titans getting Treylon Burks, a long receiver from Arkansas, and trying to reset the clock on that. That was what stood out to me. And then the barrage of trades from 10 on down. I just the amount of trades. I think Drake London being the first receiver off the board surprised me. But I'm okay with it. Like, I don't know that I thought there was a big difference. When you take those first 4 receivers, Drake London and Garrett Wilson and Olave from Ohio State and Jamison Williams from Alabama, who's coming off the knee injury, I didn't think there was a huge separation. And so when the Falcons went and took London first because he's tall, they were going to play tall ball in Atlanta. It's maybe surprised me a little bit, but okay, I'm fine with it. Like, let's see, because so many times it's not the guys you think who are the best players that come out of this draft, and just go back and look over history, especially in the National Football League. So that didn't bother me. I thought I was surprised where the Cowboys went. Offensive line, okay, but Tyler Smith surprised me a bit. But the trades were the ones where it's like, whoa, your head's on a swivel.
Yeah, A.J. Brown leaving Tennessee does not make any sense to me.
I'm with you.
It's as simple as they didn't want to pay him.
Right.
You bring in a rookie wide receiver, but when you look at the trades that were made, I'm feeling great if I'm the Philadelphia Eagles.
100%.
To get an A.J. Brown. All right, you pay the dude $100 million. It's still left in. We saw Devonta Adams and Tyreek Hill get paid. He's only 25 years old. He's a legit number 1 threat. And if you're the Titans, all right, you follow it up with selecting a wide receiver, but are you just going to hand Derrick Henry the football 35 times a game? Like, what's your plan now in that offense?
Now they're going to throw to this young man. I mean, you would try, and hopefully Treylon Burks. What the Jets did, and look, they had picks, and they loaded up. I thought that, and I was flipping back. Which coverage did you watch? Did you watch NFL Network or you watch ESPN?
It was both.
Yeah, because NFL Network had the interviews with him, and ESPN did not. They had Melissa Starks there. But I really like Louis Riddick, and he couldn't stop saying Jermaine Johnson enough. And I don't know do you know why that defensive end for Florida State dropped like that? Projected top 10, 12, maybe 15, slips all the way to 26 for the Jets. To me, and look, we'll find out and ask us in a year, in 2 years, that felt like the steal of the first round, didn't it to you?
Yeah, it's a dude that was flashing top 15 potential, really buzzing, climbing up the draft boards over the last week or so, and to follow it up with a 3rd pick in the first round.
Yes.
It was a great day on paper for the New York Jets.
The Jets also got a terrific wide receiver, some people's number 1 receiver overall, in Garrett Wilson from Ohio State, and they had the 4th overall pick, and they get a good cornerback in Gardner from Cincinnati, and it feels like they had a terrific draft. Lenny, should I take Lenny after? Well, I'll go Lenny here. I'm going to guess that's where you're going, is on the Jets.
Yeah, I'm going to the Jets and Giants. The Jets getting the pick at 26 was a gift.
Yes.
Was a gift. And taking the Sauce Gardner at 4, it's kind of ironic because, this is the first of the 2 number 1s they got for the Jamal Adams trade.
Right.
So now you get Gardner. The receiver, he doesn't have a lot of height, but if you saw his leaping, he has like a 40-inch vertical leap.
And he's fast, really fast.
But just to get what they got at 26 for a second, I think, a 3rd and a 5th,
I can't agree more on
I
that.
take that all day.
Yeah, I don't
but I'm
know
also
what
going to
happened
give credit to the Detroit Lions for trading up to get Jameson Williams, because Detroit's going to suck this year. So they don't have to rush him back from his ACL. They could basically redshirt him for the season and bring him back the following season if they want to.
I don't know if you go the whole season. I think You know, I feel a little bit, and I know people are going to say, yeah, ha, ha, ha. I feel a little bit for Jared Goff because he's probably playing for his I don't know if career, but maybe this year. And there's the weapon that he could have, and whoever comes in next is going to have that weapon, right? I mean, you're basically throwing Jared Goff out there and thinking, all right, get me a first-round receiver, give me a weapon, let me go to work, give me something to work with, right? They go out and they get the stud, and they got so lucky. I think it was perfect for them at 2 to get Hutchinson fall to them. That's who they wanted. And then they go out and Jared Goff's thinking, all right, I'm going to get a receiver. Look at them all. Oh, we got the one that's hurt and can't play, and I may never get to throw to him.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if it's hurt and doesn't play. I don't care about Goff.
Right.
Because I'm looking long term.
I get it. Look, I think you're right for that organization.
But the sheer number of trades, you needed a scorecard to keep up.
And even
because the Alex Kirk replacement trade for the Cardinals was very good.
Christian Kirk.
For Christian Kirk. Sorry,
Alex Kirk, totally different human.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the A.J. Brown trade, the Jets had an option to get him. They really didn't give up. Tennessee didn't give up a lot or get a lot for him.
You're fine.
But they got a 6'5" receiver.
You don't have to pay $100 million.
Vincent Jackson, Mike Evans.
And you don't have to pay him $100 million. Look, that's why Tennessee traded
with
him.
$57 million guaranteed, and that contract was agreed to within 5 minutes of the trade being consummated.
Yeah. Well, so that means it was done before. So,
right.
Yeah.
Because as soon as the trade was done, it said 4-year, $100 million, $57 million guaranteed.
That's right. So this was done well before.
Pittsburgh got the quarterback they wanted without having to make any moves.
Yeah.
And now today, you're going to see Seattle go after Malik Willis.
Ooh, that's probably right. Okay. Where does Seattle pick in the second round?
Or Carolina.
Okay, I'm down. So where do we find second round pick?
Because you got Sam Darnold, who's on his last year.
Maybe.
And I'm not knocking Drew Lock because Drew Lock has great receivers he has now in Seattle, but I don't know if he's the quarterback of the future.
All right, so Seattle's got the 8th and 9th pick in this round. Do they trade them both to move up to, I don't know,
yes.
It goes Tampa Bay Vikings, Tennessee Giants. Giants look. The Giants opted to not pick up Daniel Jones yesterday. They may be in the quarterback market.
That's true. They can. So, do they offer the Giants a deal, and let the Giants get some more draft capital?
Well, but if the Giants are looking for the quarterback, then you better get above them. You better go 1, 2, or 3.
I understand. Otherwise, I could see Detroit or Seattle, taking those picks and jumping the Giants.
Yeah. All right.
But
no, it was good.
And you talk about basketball, and I'm just going to say one thing about Chris Paul.
Yeah.
I've never seen somebody hit 18 straight shots.
It's never happened.
At 37 years old.
So it's never happened.
Tall, 2 years ago, we were talking about him on the show going, that's going to be the worst contract in NBA history with the money he's going to get paid.
Yep, we did. Yep, and we got to get into the historical aspect of that. All right, Lenny, appreciate you.
And how the NBA draft outdrew the NBA or the draft outdrew the playoffs.
Did we already see the TV numbers on that?
It's just insane.
Yeah, I haven't seen the TV numbers. All right, enjoy the weekend. Appreciate you.
Thanks, you too.
See you. Have you seen TV numbers yet?
No.
It won't surprise me that the NFL draft did. All right, there's a lot in there. By the way, Chris Paul didn't miss a shot. It's the first time since they've been tracking this for a quarter of a century that a dude 18 shot. What was it?
14 of 14.
14 of 14. Yeah.
First person ever to do it in the playoffs. The only other person that's done it is Wilt Chamberlain in the regular season.
Yeah. How about that?
He went 18 of 18, then 16 of 16.
Not bad for an old 6-foot point guard, right?
Told you.
Yeah, you did.
Point guard of this generation. He can have those games. He can't do that every night.
But he can do it some nights.
But in a closeout game, Chris Paul came ready to go, knowing that, all right, the first game back for Devin Booker, we can't expect him to drop 30. I got you guys.
It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck, A. Marie's not here. Stephanie, we traded up to get her. That's right. And Adrian on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco. For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact.
Sports Animal.
I'm in the incredible shrinking chair. This chair just like slowly sinks.
That's how this one is too in here.
So, you know, this studio, most of you know, there's, I think, 7 radio stations here at Cumulus. But this radio station, although it's much better now, but this room where we sit used to be where old chairs go to die. Right, JJ? There used to be like 8 chairs stacked in here, and you wouldn't want to sit in any of them. Throw them in
We're
the sports
probably
animal
just
studio.
recycling them all.
Throw them in the sports animal studio. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a damn. And it's literally where old chairs used to go to die. Anyway, all right, good morning to you. Coming off of round 1, you get 2 more days of this stuff, sitting there and watching dudes in suits. Well, most guys won't be in suits anymore. Like, they won't be there anymore. Steph, what you think of the suits? I know you watched it with your son. What are the young people talking about
They were pretty short on the ankles. Well, like, not high waters. I guess you can't call them high waters, right?
You can call them whatever you want.
Well, it seems like they're tailored that way because they go like to a tight.
Promise you they're tailored. Yes.
And it seemed like some people like preferred really short.
Yep.
Some were just like moderate.
All right, very few off the
Like
rack.
a nice pedal pusher.
Yeah, very few went over to Men's Warehouse and just pulled a suit off the
Right?
rack.
Some of them were fancy, man.
Yeah, very few.
One guy's dad, man, New Orleans. I think got picked for New Orleans. Man, his dad was sharp.
Yeah.
I forget which guy that was.
Aiden Hutchinson had on the inside. He had all his sayings, all of his, all of his goals, all the stuff that he had wanted over the years, and it was on the liner. All of his manifests, all the things he said. I'm going to be a Heisman Trophy candidate, and I'm going to be a first-round pick, and I'm going to all those things. It was there.
Wow.
Kayvon Thibodeau, I thought the one from Oregon. I thought he looked good. They look good. All right, JJ, Jets and Giants seem to have done really well. I guess, again, I'm going to go back to the 26 pick, Jermaine Johnson from Florida State, the defensive end falling. A lot of trading, a lot of movement, a lot of receivers. 1 quarterback. Second draft since, 2000? Is that what I understand? That there's only been 1 quarterback in 25 years. Only 1 quarterback in the first round, Kenny Pickett. Were you surprised that it was that quarterback? I don't think anybody was surprised that the Steelers went for a quarterback at 20. They had one basically down the hall, and they had one at Liberty. One in Kenny Pickett with smaller hands. That's what I kept hearing about Tyler Lindermuth, the center. Well, he dropped because he has short arms. I don't know. He's pretty freaking good.
Can he hand the football to the quarterback? Yeah. And stay in front of the person in front.
Some of this stuff. What am I watching on video? What am I watching in person? What am I watching from this young man? Can he play? Pickett, I think they believe can go in and probably challenge Mitchell Trubisky this year, don't they?
Yeah, that one, we knew teams were not going to reach for these guys.
Yeah.
For Pittsburgh selecting Kenny Pickett, I was a little surprised that it was Kenny Pickett because I don't think he is an upgrade over Mitchell Trubisky. To me, Kenny Pickett just kind of feels like another ho-hum, middle-of-the-road quarterback. I don't see much of a ceiling. I don't see him flashing. I thought with at least Malik Willis, you get some of that athletic ability, get a guy that can make some plays out of the pocket. But, we're seeing that come to fruition that we knew this was a 2-quarterback class. And it just came down to once Carolina made their pick, you knew those quarterbacks would fall like a rock, and teams were not going to trade up for these guys. But there's something they had, as you said, Kenny Pickett being in their backyard. They had the ability to talk to whoever they wanted, watch whatever they wanted, maybe even show up to some practice anytime they wanted. So they had, I'm sure, a great scouting report on Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett, the quarterback from the University of Pittsburgh, gets drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. So basically he stays home, and here's you talk about not reaching, and I think that's one of the things that I was most impressed with, if that makes any sense. Because I tell you every year, I think franchises reach out of need. And I think the reason you didn't see it, is twofold, JJ. First of all, you're right. The quarterback class at the top isn't as deep as it's been, certainly like last year. But I don't think you have as many teams desperate for quarterbacks. I think every team in the league right now, if you said there's no draft, every team in the league has somebody with whom they are comfortable starting the season.
They have someone to start, but they don't. Like Carolina
doesn't feel like they have their long-term answer. No, do you think they're desperate?
Yes, they're desperate, but the dude wasn't there.
See,
there was not value at the 6th pick to take Malik Willis.
Yeah, I think there's still a little
Sam Darnold's done.
I don't know that I think they all believe that. I think
they should.
Still a little wait and see on Sam Darnold.
Because the longer they wait and see, they're all losing their jobs after this.
And they might. So you think that's the most desperate situation at quarterback? I mean, look, you got Marcus Mariota, who was a backup in Vegas last year as a starting quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. I've got Mitchell Trubisky, who was a backup for the Bills last year, who is now the starting quarterback for the Steelers. Both of those guys were high, like top 2 NFL picks in this draft a few years ago. So I feel like there's 2 reasons teams didn't reach like they tend to. A, there wasn't as much to reach for, but B, I just don't think there's as many teams that are desperate for quarterbacks.
No,
Well,
it's the talent.
you think it's simply that?
100%. If there was,
So you think, okay, fine. You think Carolina's more desperate than I do. Okay. Who else is desperate for
like, if
quarterback?
this was what we've seen over the last 4 years,
Yeah.
Carolina,
Seattle would have moved up.
Atlanta, Seattle, all would have taken quarterbacks in the top 10.
Okay. Atlanta would have
Have
too,
that-
you think?
Yeah.
Even though they need a receiver as
Well, it's
badly?
just like Atlanta is exactly like Pittsburgh
Yeah.
with the quarterback situation.
Who do you believe in more?
So
you believe in Mitchell Trubisky more
so
or Marcus
if
Mariota?
this was any of the last 4 drafts where we've seen multiple first-round quarterbacks
All those
go,
teams would have moved up.
all right, the way they've selected quarterbacks at those spots.
Instead, you had 5 defensive players go in the first 5 picks. Malik Willis goes in the first 5 of the second round, you think? Somebody moving up?
I think Seattle's in prime position.
They've got
You
8
guys
and
were
9.
talking about.
They've got 8 and 9. So they trade. I mean, they call. I mean, who they call? They call New England and say, "I'll give you 8 and 9 for the first
No,
pick." Or for the. Well, I'm sorry, it's not New England. It's Tampa Bay. Call Tampa Bay and say, "I'll give you 8 and 9 for that first pick." Call Minnesota. I'll give you 8 and 9 for number 2.
Because they would be the first team I go to. Would think, all right, who could potentially be moving up to attack Malik Willis? That's an easy swap. You could even because you could keep the rest of your picks. Say, hey, we'll give you 8, 9. Get up to the first pick of the second round. Because then it's
Does anybody else
Minnesota,
look to do that?
Tennessee. I don't think the Giants would make that move, even though they didn't pick up Daniel Jones' option for his 5th season.
Carolina's got nothing to give right now.
Yeah, Carolina, they don't have, and I don't think, for as desperate as I believe they are for a quarterback, that they don't have picks in the 2nd, 3rd, or is it even 4th?
They've got nothing to give. Yeah.
So I don't think them then throwing first-round picks from next year's draft just to get a second-round pick is a good move for the
Bad
franchise.
move. It's a horrible move, actually.
In this spot.
Well, for a first-round pick for a second? I mean, it wouldn't cost them a first-round pick.
Yeah, it would.
You think it would cost them a first-round pick to move up into the second round here?
Or at least the 2nd and 3rd. Like it would.
Okay, yeah,
because
second and
teams would
3rd I
kinda
can see.
Be
Yeah.
holding their feet to the fire.
Yeah, I can see a second, 3rd. I can't see.
I don't think that's. I think it's been done before. It's not the ideal situation, but if you're that desperate, but I don't see them making that.
You better
move.
believe in that quarterback then.
Yeah.
Then you better believe if you're going to trade next year's first, you better believe in that quarterback because then you're going to be sitting there and they're going to have your first round pick next year taking the top quarterback. How'd your team do? How did you all feel like you did? What do you think of the Cowboys pick taking Tyler Smith, the offensive lineman out of Tulsa, who I listened to some of the reports. And look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know about the offensive lineman out of Tulsa. Just listen to what I heard. And it was a lot of head scratching. Wow, he's a penalty waiting to happen. He's sloppy.
Move him inside the guard then.
Yeah,
like that will take some pressure off this dude
on the outside,
who might be a little bit sloppy on the outside.
Yeah.
You can be, what do they like to call him? A road grader.
All right.
Inside at guard. I know everyone's screaming, Jermaine Johnson. What have the Cowboys been very good at over the last few years? As much as people love
what he
to
does.
scream
Yeah.
and say Jerry Jones is terrible, this team doesn't know what they're doing. They
built a
know
defense.
what they are doing when it comes to offensive linemen.
Well, but they built a defense.
Yeah, but that offensive line aged out. That was a good pick by the Cowboys.
All right. 505-246-0610. Amory's going to call us from Vegas, I think. Give us an update from the circus that is the draft. When we get back, I want to get into the hoops a little bit from last night. But we're on the hoops and the football, wherever you want to go. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Construction on I-40 between 98th and Coors is ongoing. Traffic is being
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS Network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS Network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit CarCrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated, with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dreams are stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture.
Who was really, really good last night? By the way, Roger Goodell loves getting booed, doesn't he?
Gotta embrace it.
You know,
like, let's go.
Yeah, bring it. I wish you'd bring it more. Like, come on, that's all you got, Vegas? Come on, boo me a little louder.
See, there's ways to handle those situations. Kyrie Irving.
He didn't flip them off one time. Not once. All right, we're getting back to the draft. You can get in on it 505-246-0610. I probably should check the email. Oh, my goodness. Look at the email machine. All right, it's going crazy, too, so I'll hit that as well. But I want to get with the hoops last night because that happened, and we had closeout games going on all around the NBA last night, and nobody was better than Chris Paul. Devin Booker was back from the injury for the Phoenix Suns, and the Suns went to Louisiana and beat New Orleans 115-109. Close out that series. The 1 seed moves on. Chris Paul played 36 minutes. He scored 33 points, had 8 assists. He was 14 of 14 from the field, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. Did not miss a shot for that old man. It is the first time, JJ, would you tell me that since they've been tracking this stuff in the playoffs, that somebody has shot more than 10 times and not missed, and the first time since Wilt Chamberlain did it in a regular season game?
That is correct.
I mean, give those numbers, just run them through your head for a minute. Now, DeAndre Ayton was 10 for 12. He was pretty damn good, too. He had 22 points, but he missed 2. That would have been something if he went 12 for 12 and Paul went 14 for 14. It's look, he's not, like JJ told you, he's not going to do that for you every night. But as Devin Booker gets his groove back on and works his way back in, and he had 13 points in 32 minutes, if you can get that out of Chris Paul, JJ, you said he's going to go for 20 and 10 assists. Well, last night he went for 33 and 8. 8 and gave you 22 points. You got 18 from Mikal Bridges, 13 off the bench from Cam Johnson. Like this next series with them and the Mavericks is going to be really good. The Mavs finished off the Jazz last night. You've got a Western Series with the Golden State Warriors moving on as well to face the winner of Memphis and Minnesota. Now I think I'm not going to lie. There were a couple of first-round series like the 76ers and Raptors that some games got away, the Heat and the Hawks. I think from these next 3 rounds should be really nice.
First round has been fantastic.
Oh, there's been some good ones.
That New Orleans played, they played a good game yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And it took Chris Paul having one of the best games historically we've ever seen from the field to close them out in New Orleans. And this is the recipe for success. Is Chris Paul, you said he's going to get you 20 and 10 every single night, and he can pick his spots to go off offensively. As much as we talk about DeMar DeRozan, Chris Paul is right there as effective mid-range field goal maker, getting downhill, getting to the basket, creating plays. Devin Booker looked better than I expected. Just the minutes that he played, the offense wasn't great, but to see him on the floor, it's huge because you just didn't know. It's the same thing like Donovan Mitchell for the Utah Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
You thought that was going to be much worse. Like, it's actually a quad issue. He's going to be back. And with these things, it just takes time. And Phoenix has to be feeling a whole lot better,
no doubt,
knowing that Booker is back. I still think it's going to be Phoenix and Golden State in the Western Conference Finals, but it's going to be a fun one ahead because of the confidence that the Dallas Mavericks have. When you watch the Dallas Mavericks, Dorian Finney-Smith, Reggie Bullock, Jalen Brunson, Spencer Dinwiddie, that supporting cast believes that they can make plays. Luka, Mikal Bridges, Devin Booker, they're just going to throw a bunch of bodies at him. They're ready to go. First series win in 11 years for the Mavericks, but the young Luka to get it done, to win that closeout game on the road. Can't wait.
23 for Donovan Mitchell last night for the Jazz in the loss, 98-96. Luka had 24. Brunson had 24. So the Mavs move on. They finished that series 4-2. The other one last night, there was so much talk about Doc Rivers, and they better win. They better win this series, man, and you better win tonight. They put the Raptors away. They won by 35 in Canada, 132-97. This was a beatdown. Joel Embiid with that thumb injury, 33 points, 10 rebounds. They had all 5 starters score north of 12 points, and they put them away. James Harden got you 22 last night. Maxey got you 25 last night. That Sixer team that you saw last night is dangerous.
Yes, they took it personally.
Yes.
That's the Philadelphia team we want to see. And also, that's the best version of James Harden. It's not the guy that's going out there and leading the offense. It's going to be Embiid, and I believe in Tyrese Maxey being the lead offensive players But just like we're talking about Chris Paul, that's James Harden's role for the Sixers team. 22 points. You saw the assist, the rebound totals. Like, he's not going to be the highest usage rate player, but he can still be very effective. And you saw that last night from James Harden, where I think, all right, he got the message, but I also don't want that dude going over his skis and then taking shots away from Embiid and even Maxey at this point.
Look, there's so much to that. But I agree with you on they took it personally. And Philadelphia, that version of Philadelphia that you watched last night is really, really good. Now, you don't get it every night. You don't get that version every night. But, boy, the 76ers went to Canada and just took it out on the Raptors. All right, Dave Marie's going to check in, I believe, at 9:30 from the draft. I think she's getting married tomorrow. Is that right still? She's still getting married? All right. So we've upgraded. We've traded up. We got Stephanie in here today. 505-246-0610 if you want to get in. I'll get to the text line, what you guys have going. I got a bunch of emails already. Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. We'll get through the draft as well. What do you want to see happen? What did you see happen? I got thoughts on the quarterbacks as well. So we're going through all of that stuff on a Friday. Aaron Jones owns IPS. Have I told you once or twice about International Protective Service? I'm certain that I have. I've used them for years, and there's a reason I've used them for years. They protect our home. They are great. They are affordable. They keep the bad guys away. IPS started providing security back in 2006. Homeowners up in Fort Hills wanted some more security. Here they are 16 years later, and hundreds and thousands of homeowners and business owners all over Albuquerque trust IPS to protect what they've worked hard to build. You've seen their trucks. You've seen their cars all around town. Look, bottom line is, it's unfortunate. Crime's on the increase, and there's not enough officers to go and handle it all. And so that's why I called IPS years ago. They look after my home. Now my neighbors use IPS. It gives you peace of mind, but keeps the bad guys away. Aaron's from here. He's passionate about making Albuquerque a safer place to live and to work. They watch your home with highly trained armed guards, 24-hour patrols, committed to this city and to our protection. So if you're interested, and I think you should, give them a call. 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. Or visit online at ipsglobal.com.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated, with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream Star Stucco.
And AM 610, the sports animal.
All right, good point by Ryan on the quarterbacks in the NFL draft. You know, we're talking about Malik Willis and trading up. He's got a great point. He says if you believed in that quarterback, right, and you said Carolina's desperate, and maybe they are, they don't have anything to trade up for. But to Seattle, if you believe in that quarterback, you would have traded into the first round because you get the extra option year. You get the extra year of option on it, right? First round, I think you control it for 5 years as opposed to 4 years, right?
Yeah, that's. And these teams didn't like this quarterback class.
Yeah, that's the point. Is if they were so convicted on Malik Willis, would they have traded up, and is that where they would have gone? And obviously, nobody did. All right, 505-246-0610. Hopefully, this will be saved in my draft. I really hope so. 888-922-0610. Emails, and I got a bunch of them. I guess I better get started on them so I can get through. Come in to Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. It's amazing how many of these emails, though, are not about the draft. I got Lobo basketball. I got Tiger. I got Lobo fans. I mean, I still, it's kind of crazy. Omar says, most quiet first day ever for the NFL's most complete franchise, Jeff. In fact, an old gambler like Coach Jones wasn't wheeling and dealing and stood pat, gives me confidence he likes what the Cowboys are going to suit up. Okay? All right. Everybody else was wheeling and dealing, but that's all right. Jefferson says, Rod, last year was all about Micah. Yesterday he wasn't even mentioned. What? I think the timing is all wrong. This is the weekend we should be reviewing what all the talking heads were saying 12 months ago and grading who knew what they were talking about and who was full of hot air. Rod, I would tell you that that's not what this weekend should be for. Maybe next weekend or last weekend should be for that. I think this weekend it should be for the spectacle. What do you think of the spectacle that is the draft, by the way? Steph, as you were watching it last night, and you were watching it with your son, and you're sitting around and watching 200,000 people, and they shut down the Vegas Strip, and they take over right there by where Paris is and across the street in the Bellagio, right at the fountains. There are some who suggest that they should just go back to having it all in a room and call these guys and just that this isn't necessary. And for those, I would tell you, then good Lord gave you a remote and go watch the basketball. Go watch something else. But I would suggest if 200,000 people or whatever it is are going to be there, and if the ratings outdraw the NBA playoffs, then there are enough people who care that good for them and make the spectacle as much as you want. What did you think of it?
I liked it.
Did
It
you?
was fun. Yeah. I thought Vegas, it was, that's a party town, but I thought what a perfect place, the lights, they closed down the whole strip. Like it looked very fun. My kids have never been to Las Vegas, so they have no idea, they were just in awe because of the lights and all the people and yeah.
They closed down was it last year they did Nashville? Because COVID was the year before. I don't remember. Whenever they did Nashville, they closed down Broadway and did it right there in that, where that infamous spot there in Nashville. I thought it was great. They go to these party spots. It was supposed to be Vegas when it was canceled for COVID. Look, I've come full circle on this. You know where I was 5 years ago. I'm not draft guy. I'm not. Tell me about the lineman out of Tulsa and his weaknesses and the defensive end out of Central Michigan, and I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy in the NBA. But I've come around a bit, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I was entertained yesterday. And so I think, JJ, the stuff that goes on around at the periphery, the partying, all the fans, it gives me something to look at in between. First of all, I thought they moved it a lot faster yesterday, too. It's not like the first 15 minutes, and I don't know what they have.
It's 10 minutes.
All right, 15 minutes was too much. It was stupid. And it's like when you sit at your fantasy football draft, how long do you get between picks? Do you always have this argument? Come on, dude. There's always that one dude who uses every second, right?
Yeah.
Or
the guy like 60 seconds.
Or the guy who's on auto draft. On the
Even
computer.
when we're doing it in person.
Yeah.
We have a stopwatch.
You should.
Yeah, let's stop.
You should. Otherwise, you're sitting there till now drafting these damn things. Because there's that one dude who's flipping through his magazines.
He's like, I didn't know we were drafting today.
And so that entertained me. Here's what I would contend. If you think it's stupid, they don't need it. I don't tell you you're wrong very often, but you're wrong. And here's why. You want your brand, every one of you. Well, that's not fair. People who say that tend to want their brand to be really big. I don't know what says my brand is huge when I can throw a party off season, not have it one play, not have a snap, and get 500,000 people to come. That says, you know what? Look how damn big my brand is, and yeah, I'm going to flaunt it, and I'm going to make it bigger, and I'm going to make more money on it, and yeah, I'm going to make a big damn deal out of it. Do you need it? No, I don't think you need it, but you know why you do it? Because you can. And for those who say, and JJ, again, I can't even believe some of this is coming out of my mouth because I wasn't here 5 years ago, but if you don't like it, I mean, dude, there was baseball on. There was, I'm sure, isn't one of the dancing shows on and one of the dating shows on every damn night on some network? Can I watch Dancing or Singing with the Stars or some singing show? I can watch that. You got your Netflix. There was 3 hoops games on, plenty of baseball. Like, the good Lord invented the remote control. Knock yourself out.
It's the hope. And fans still like the building process, and they do a great job in the coverage now. There's people that give you the scouting reports. They always have cut-ups on these guys, so you're getting the information. There's good personalities.
Comparisons.
Across the board.
Right, I love the backstories.
The stories of these players, where they're coming from. Heck, Louis Riddick dropped the Lynn Swann reference on you for Garrett Wilson in a comparison. Yeah. So he's throwing it back. And it is because as much as you say, oh, we don't know, and well, let's look at last year's draft, this is the future of your franchise. These are the building blocks for your franchise. Even if you're a good team, one of these dudes is going to make you a great team. And that's the beauty, the buzz of a draft.
What?
And the NFL is king at presenting that to us.
Steph just hit on it, though, maybe even the biggest piece of it. I'm not going to tell you it's the Super Bowl where everybody watches and non-sports fans watch, but she did with her son. And what did she like? Like she's answering the phone right now. I don't know if Steph could tell you any of the Steph, could you tell me one name of any of the 5 guys in the draft? But you could tell me a story that you heard yesterday of a dude or a family, right?
Well, I liked the one where his mom prayed with him before every game, and he didn't even want to play football. She ended up taking him. She was like, "Get your stuff. We're going to the park," and she literally dropped him off. And he would hide in the bathroom just to avoid practices.
Damn,
but then
I don't know that story.
But then he got drafted yesterday. And I think he's only 21 years old.
Yeah.
Then there was the one with the 2 Navy parents.
See? So I to your point, I think they do a great job on that. And they bring in more fans by telling stories. And again, if this was just sitting in a room, I mean, they wouldn't get the ratings. They wouldn't think of the revenue that they generate. I'm in, man. I wasn't there. You know I wasn't. But when I hear, you tell me, well, that the NFL draft is stupid and they should just go back to being in a room. Without due respect, like you can have your opinion, but you're wrong, and you don't have to watch it. They shouldn't, because they're making money and raising their brand. And that's what's great for them and their brand and their franchises and their athletes. And these are people who tell me, athletes should get all the money they want. Well, this is getting them more money, because it's raising the profile of that league and that brand, and hence the individuals. It's the opening drive. We're going to the phones when we come back. 505-246-0610. It's 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
It's like it never happened.
Found 610 KNML Albuquerque, the sports animal.
Then the usual morning lineup. 7 in the morning.
7 o'clock in the morning.
7 a.m. Where have you been? 7 a.m. Where is your brother?
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bond.
5 Georgia defensive players selected in the first round of the NFL draft yesterday. 5 defensive players in the first 5 picks. 1 quarterback, a zillion trades, and that was just day 1 of the NFL draft as the NFL takes over the sports world for the weekend and doesn't offer you one competitive play on the field. It's how they are. They are the monster. Good morning to you. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck on the Sports Animal on a beautiful Friday. It amazes me, and as much as I've come to understand it, expect it, it still amazes me when I watch the spectacle that was the draft yesterday. How many people care? How many people really get into this? And I'm just going to tell you, I don't know how many people, Cowboy fans, knew the name Tyler Smith before yesterday, but now they love him.
Right, the looks on their faces when they announced, they were like,
"Oh yeah, that's my dude. Yeah, that's my guy." Let's go, Tony. Thanks for holding. What's up, man?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
You know, I said some harsh things about the NFL draft because there was no exciting, there was no wow players out there, but I was still watching.
Yeah.
And you know why I was watching? Because it's the NFL.
Yep.
It's the NFL. I want to see what's going to happen, and so it's the NFL. And if you don't like it, you're still going to watch it. You're still going to go to the Google and find out who got drafted where and everything. So all these people that they should just go back to the rooms. And come on, it's an event now. It's an event. My son and I sat there. We watched, and even though Denver didn't have a first-round pick, we were still watching because you never know. And it's the NFL. You want to see what's going to happen. Yeah. So it's a basic pastime, but it's over. And football's taken over for a long time already.
Yeah.
So let's just enjoy it while we got it, because when we don't have it, we're crying up a storm that we don't have football.
Well, you know what? We have football, but it's the NFL. I think what I've learned, too, because I was with you, and we'll watch any football. And the fact that I will watch Appalachian State play South Alabama on a Thursday night or a Tuesday night or whatever, but then we got the USFL. Do you watch that? Like the NFL and college football rule, I'm not sure all football rules anymore.
Well, I don't know, but that lingerie football is pretty exciting.
Fair
I'm
enough.
not going to lie.
No, very, very, very fair. All right, send me
Have a good
your
weekend,
password
guys.
on that later. Have you watched the lingerie? Now, you want to talk about the what they're wearing, Steph? You and your son sit around and watch the lingerie football league.
I don't think there'd be any complaints.
They're not very baggy clothes there either, just so you know. They're quite tailored also. Quite tailored, in fact. All right, if you want to get in on the draft, I'm encouraging you to do so.
And you know why, too, Jeff?
Tell me.
Because you see the payoff. You don't have to wait. Just read some names that
As opposed to baseball, where it's like, okay, 3 years from now, a guy's going to be up.
Other even basketball.
Yeah.
There's fewer players that hit early. All right. How do you feel about Jamar Chase?
I think he's a stud.
Jalen Waddle.
So you're going through last year's draft.
Jalen Waddle.
So you have last
Micah
year's
Parsons.
draft. No, you have last year's draft in front of you. So who were the first 5 guys in last year's draft?
Trevor Lawrence.
All right, and you're watching Trevor Lawrence, and look, this is almost like a rookie year for him because he had Urban Meyer last year, and it was just a waste.
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson was injured. He's going to be the quarterback, and his team just loaded up with prospects again last night.
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance is going to be the starting quarterback of a team that went to the NFC Championship game, so you're going to watch him again. So, yeah, I'm listening. All right, but not, all right, so 3 quarterbacks at the top that you're going to watch. You didn't get the immediate satisfaction except for maybe Trevor Lawrence on them, but okay.
Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts was a good tight end. Yeah, good.
Only 1 touchdown, but he had 68 receptions.
Really good
1,000 yards as a rookie.
Really good tight end last year, yeah.
Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase was a stud last year and went to the Super Bowl.
Jalen Waddle.
Steph, you see this. This is no notes, right? You know this, all this off the – all right. Jalen Waddle was probably turned into the number 1 receiver for the Dolphins, right?
Yes, until Tyreek Hill showed up.
Yeah, but last year he was the number 1 receiver for the
104
Dolphins.
catches as a rookie.
Yeah, I mean 104 is number 1 receiver stuff. Yes.
And then you go down the list.
Who was that? I mean, give me your first guy I don't know.
Penny Sewell.
Penny Sewell is an offensive lineman. I mean, you're not watching offensive lineman, but he made an impact last year.
Jace Horn.
All right.
Patrick Surtain.
All right, but Patrick Surtain was really good for your team last year.
Devontae Smith.
All right. Devontae Smith had what did he have, 60-something catches last year for the Eagles? Yeah.
Justin Fields.
He was turned into starting quarterback for the Bears. So you just gave me the top 9 or 10. I mean,
it was top 11. And then number 12,
yeah,
Micah Parsons.
Yeah, and he was freaking good. I mean, really good. So, no, your point's right. You get immediate satisfaction from these guys that you're going to know. Steph, did you know all those guys? Top, like no notes right off the top of your head?
100%.
Sure, yeah.
See? But
locked in.
Look, whatever you watch it for, whatever the spectacle is, like, do you have a desire to go to that? Like, A-Marie is all about being in the middle of it, and I think that's great. Do you want to be there?
I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
I would probably, I'd be one of those spectacle. I have no idea who's getting drafted. I'm just here for the fun, the
give me another beer.
people interaction and stuff. But I think it would be a lot of fun.
Okay. Do you have a desire to be there?
Yes.
Okay, I don't, which is cool. I'm down watch.
I always want to experience these events at least once.
Okay. If I want to be in that crowd, like I want to be at a music festival. Play me some good music.
Right. So I had the opportunity. I've gone to a Super Bowl, but not as an attendee. I worked the Super Bowl.
So I worked.
That was a
which
lot of fun.
Super Bowl did you work?
I want to say, is that 49 or
Who
50?
played?
When we were in Glendale,
Okay.
it was the Patriots and the
I worked a Super Bowl.
Seahawks.
Oh, Patriots, yeah.
Oh, that was the Malcolm Butler game. Yep.
That was Katy Perry halftime because I
That
took
was a
my
Katy Perry
break
game.
because
Sorry,
I
it
took
wasn't
my
the Malcolm
break
Butler game.
right
Katy
at the
Perry game.
halftime, so
Was
I could
that-
go
was
watch
that
the
Left Shark
halftime.
game?
Yes, that was Left Shark game.
Yeah. I worked. First Super Bowl I went to, I worked in San Diego. It was the Doug Williams Super Bowl. Broncos, Ricky and Teal. Broncos went out early, and then Doug Williams and the
Right, and you get a whole month experience. You get to be there for a whole month, walk the place, watch people practice, set up the.
I was serving
stands.
food up in the club level. But after the game, dude, somewhere there's a picture. We were down on the field of the Super Bowl, like playing catch with beer cans.
Right, in the confetti.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
It was-
yeah, it's fun. I'd like to go as a spectator, but probably could never afford it.
Well, yeah, probably at this point now.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And this is one of those things where if that's like, I always tell you, go do your thing. I don't have a desire to just stand in that crowd for hours.
Well, Jeff, I don't think you'd be standing in that crowd for hours. You're Jeff Zimbietta.
Fair enough.
You're
So you're saying
Zimbietta.
if we got a pass and went and sat in the media area and just kind of observed, I guess I could live that.
Jeff Zimbietta
Yeah.
does not just stand in the crowd.
That's what I'm going to order on the Italian menu too. The Zimbietta.
Can I get the Zimbietta meal,
Is it
please?
still like that?
Oh,
Are
I don't think they.
are always checking accuracy friends at the
You could
Journal?
sell your name for like one of those. What do they call it? A Zamboni for the cleaners. Yeah.
A Zamboni. The
Uh,
Zimbietta
The
Zambonis.
You ever hear the
Zimbietta
Gear Daddy
Zamboni.
song? I want to ride the Zamboni.
No.
Oh, you'd love it. You pull up the Gear Daddies. I want to ride the Zamboni. Or drive the Zamboni. I want to drive the Zamboni. I did a video on that back when I was in TV in Washington State. Did the whole story on that. It was bad television. It was bad. All right. How did your team do? Your team didn't pick. My team didn't pick. Right? We get into the draft today. Now finally.
Did A-Marie's team pick yesterday, or is she today?
Yeah, they did, and right
Wow.
now they're at the top. They traded back, but yeah,
They had the last pick.
yeah.
Oh wow.
Who'd they take with the
round.
last pick?
Safety out of Georgia. Lewis Seen?
Actually, that's right. That was the fifth Georgia
Yeah,
player
he's-
drafted in the last pick of the draft.
5 Bulldogs in the first
Yeah,
round.
yeah, that's right. That's exactly where they went. Yep. That's right. All right, Amory's going to join us. She's in Vegas. I'm curious how did she experience it? Her and her hubby got credentialed, right?
Yes,
so
they
she
got
did. So she
credentials.
wasn't out with the common folk.
No.
She was in the area where they're getting fed and getting taken care of and have a place to sit. That might be the way to do it.
I like Garrett Wilson, the Ohio State wide receiver,
who
was selected 10th by the Jets.
Yeah.
And he started walking the wrong way. he didn't know which way to go with the stage.
Yeah.
He got up, he turned to the left, and then he got to the corner and he realized he was in a corner.
Oh, damn.
And then he turned around and he started, sprinting towards the stage. But immediately the internet took it over. And they're like, when you get selected by the Jets, you try to escape him.
He's like a little mouse in a maze. Oh, no, not the Jets. Tell you what, man, the Jets had a draft yesterday. The Jets got 3 players that I think helped them. Does that make them good? I don't know.
You saw teams that actually have an idea of what they're doing. Young quarterbacks last year. All right, now let's get some pieces for these quarterbacks to continue to add so we can hopefully develop these guys.
505-246-0610. Want your thoughts on that, on the hoops? What do you want to see today? Where a quarterback's going to go? Do you like Kenny Pickett going to the Steelers? Steeler fan, I know you're there. Who's replacing Ben? This has the makings of a great story. Young man, grew up in that area, went to Pitt, drafted by the team. He's going to play in the same stadium. Oh, he's told his hands are too small. So you're laughing at me, Steph. That was the deal in the Combine a month ago, the big story. Wow, he's really good. God, did you see Kenny Pickett? Look at the numbers he put up at Pitt. Oh, wait a minute. We measured his hands, and they're a half an inch smaller than Joe Burrow's, and he's not going to be very good. And Lindemuth, the center, the best center in the draft. Wow, I mean, did you see his arms aren't very long? Aren't you supposed to keep your arms in when you block anyway?
Lyndon Baum.
Lyndon Baum?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I keep calling him
Linderbaum.
Yeah, well, Lyndon Baum with the short arms. Come on.
That guy was huge.
Yeah, he was huge. It's the opening drive. Did you see the wrestling video they showed of him? Did you watch that?
Yeah.
See, that was a good side story.
Yeah, his best friends, from the Bucks.
Tristan Wirfs.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
Did
was
you
a
watch
good one, yeah.
Yeah, he beat him. He dominated.
Right.
Dominated
Their
him.
I think it was the last match.
Yes.
Got him.
So good. See, that's why you watch the draft on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Staples has everything you're off.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco. For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today.
It's one of the keys, I think, of events like that is the stories. Whatever you're watching for, if you're watching for what the Vikings did or what the Lions did or what the Packers did or what the Rams and the Broncos didn't do squat, but what your team did, that's cool. If you're watching to see the drunk guy in I don't know if I single somebody out, jersey, inappropriately grope the young lady next to him, all right, you probably got to see that too, whatever it is. It's the opening drive, Jeff, JJ. Steph is in for A. Marie today. You can watch our show, Comcast Channel 26, and on our Facebook page, The OD in the AM. Adrian is producing on ProView Networks for us, so you can watch us there. John's calling at 505-246-0610. Hello, John.
Hey, how are you doing this morning?
Good. What's happening?
So I was listening to your commentary about a guy having his fingers a little too short or his arms a little too short.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, an NFL team should go about figuring out who is just a little less than perfect but has great ability.
Yes.
And draft all those players, call it the team of misfits. It gives them a chip on their shoulder and the passion they need to beat other teams, and they can sign them for less money.
Yep. Yep. And their logo can be Hermie from Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Remember Hermie? I want to be a dentist from the land of misfit toys. That could be their logo.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Santa, I want to be a dentist.
I want to be a dentist.
And, but the other thing I was going to call about, because I haven't had a chance to call in about this, have you seen the recruits the new NMSU basketball coach is getting?
Yeah, I have.
On Las Cruces?
Yeah, yeah, and he got two of his studs from his national championship
top 30 junior college players.
So he got the number 6 overall JUCO guard, JJ. Did you see that? The guard who came over, and 2 of the top 30 JUCO guys came with him. Yeah, yeah. No, John, it looks like, and again, it's paper, and so let's see what he does. I want to see how good the 7'3" Bull. What is Bull Kwok? Kuak. No, I've been watching that closely, and I mean, he's certainly he's reassembled the roster with only 3 guys left there. So if they're going to be a 14-person, 15-person roster, they only have 3 guys left. And he's working. He's working.
I mean, the kid who played on the national team for Israel is on there,
That's
and
right.
that 7'3" guy, wasn't he like on their junior national soccer team at one time? I mean, the kid's an athlete.
Yeah, that's what I read too. Yeah, no, it looks like, I mean, again, on paper, he's putting together a heck of a roster. Yes. Yeah, we probably need to get him in. See you, John. Probably need to get him in soon too. I'll reach out. It's probably due for a visit with all the coaches, right? Danny's in on Monday. I'll reach out to Richard, maybe work with him next week, and probably do a little catch up with everybody.
It's looking very good for New Mexico State. Greg Heyer also had to put an entire roster together.
Yeah.
And so I know when you see these come downs, you're reading about the rankings and where these players sit, and about the potential. You still got a lot of Lobo fans that are nervous or uneasy, wondering where all their recruits are, or where are the forwards. There's still 2 dates. There's the one coming up where the transfer portal closes for the summer. If you want to play next year, you got to be in the transfer portal by May 1st. And then June 1st is when players decide, do you want to stay in the NBA draft or go back to school? And so there's going to be a lot of players that get the feedback, probably not feeling too good, comfortable with going back to school, that will then either go back to their schools or still be in the transfer portal. Thus, you can still recruit and sign players. It doesn't mean the portal shuts down. It just means you can't enter and be eligible for next season. So there's still a lot of time, a lot of things to be decided for a lot of rosters.
Well, and a lot of decisions to be made by young men because the difference. So there's a couple of differences from what you're watching yesterday and what you watch with the NBA. First of all, the NBA is not in Vegas with 500,000 people. There's only 2 rounds of the NBA draft as opposed to, what are we, 6 now with the NFL? 6 or 7? 6, right?
NFL draft is 7 rounds.
It's 7. Now, the other side of that coin is there's other places for basketball players to go make money. It's not just the NBA. They can go to the G League. They can go overseas, and they can play professionally and make a living. Where in the NFL, it's basically the NFL now. You got the USFL and do I got another league still? XFL still around?
XFL next year.
Yeah. All right. So, but are you making a living, or are you making kind of a stipend doing that? So those are the differences. But the reality is, 60 dudes are going to get drafted in the NBA. 6-0. And you say, all right, well, I like my chances. Then you start looking at the list and the numbers and the international players and the guys who are coming out of G Leagues and the guys who are playing at the academies, and you're going, That's why these evaluations, you take them real. That's why these businesses are such a real deal. You better be really damn good. Now, you may say, I don't want to go back to school. I'd rather go to Israel or Romania or Iran and play basketball. Okay, and you can do that. And look, Daniel Ferris has been in here, told us stories about playing in Lebanon and great experience, and he made good money, right?
Yes, he did.
And there's opportunities, but to your point, it's time. Lobo Hobo says the Hammer Ho. Jeff, I'm really looking forward to hearing what the Hammer brings to the Ho table today. You ready to Ho today?
Yes, I am ready.
Right. You're gonna bring, yeah. Marco says, laugh. He says, good morning, Team OD in the AM. Steph's laugh is the best, in capital letters with an exclamation mark. You got the best laugh in the business, according to him. See? Look at you getting a little love. You should get some love, damn it. You are a superstar.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's why we traded up to get you. You understand that, right?
Does that mean we have to break the news to Anne-Marie?
Yeah,
this morning?
Probably. Sorry.
So we don't get a WTF tweet later?
Yeah, wait, what the hell's going on around here? Dan says it's Derby week. Jeffrey, Juan Jose, no Ana Maria, Gato Estefe. Will we hear more this coming week about the horses or the suspension of Bob Baffert? I mean, you'll hear it. I don't know that I'm not going to sit here and promise you we're going to break down the Derby.
Thank you for telling me it's Derby week.
JJ has made it very clear he doesn't love the Derby.
So I need those reminders.
Yeah. Well, it's always the first Saturday in May, which will be next week. So next week's Derby week. All right? You cool with that?
And we'll get a lot of information, too, if you do tune into Jim Rome. I'm sure he'll be talking about the horses.
Promise you he will. I told you this earlier, but I want to hit this again. The biggest thing to me out of a very, very active first day of the NFL draft was the trade of A.J. Brown and the announcement within minutes of the trade to Philadelphia that the former Titans star receiver had agreed to a $100 million deal with $57 million guaranteed, and the Titans then take that pick. They draft the rookie receiver out of Arkansas, and they move. But obviously, what that is look, we just don't want to pay you that, and I don't know how Ryan Tannehill feels about that. He can't.
Mike Vrabel didn't look too pleased.
No, he looked miserable. Look, so there were 2 receivers traded: Marquise Brown from the Ravens to the Cardinals, and A.J. Brown from the Titans to the Eagles. Did you see Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson's tweets? He's like, WTF? Like, what are we doing? So you got your quarterback, your star quarterback in Baltimore that you're trying to sign, and they are receiver. What's been the one knock on them? They've always got a great defense, but they have been receiver deficient for a decade at least, right? I mean, who's their best receiver that they've had? Give me 15 years. Who's the best receiver they've had? Probably this guy, right? Marquise Brown? And I don't think he's a number one. But who's their best receiver they've had?
15 years?
Yeah, give me one.
The last year, Steve Smith.
Okay, he was good. He was a nice possession receiver. He was really good. He doesn't take the top off.
Torrey Smith.
Torrey Smith was good.
They had, Anquan Bolden.
The back end of his career. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They've had some good receivers. They haven't had like that guy. And so here's one guy that you got speed, and he's really tight with your quarterback who you're trying to resign. And you don't even tell your quarterback that you're trading him, and you trade him, and he finds out via watching Louis Riddick.
You could send a text to him, but that gets to start getting in the waters.
No, I get it. We've had this
the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
I actually like that move for Baltimore. Because they're coming up on having to pay Marquise Brown. I ain't paying that dude.
No, I'm not paying him what he thinks he wants either.
So,
but
as we get ready,
then they didn't draft a receiver.
Not in the first round.
No.
Kyle Hamilton was a great pick for the Ravens because he just fits everything they do to a T. Bulking up the offensive line, which is never a bad thing. But these quarterbacks frustrated when you see the run of receivers.
Yes.
Like Green Bay's like, bleep them receivers. We don't need them. Best off-season trade so far for wide receiver. Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown. You should just throw Marquise Brown in there. Think about it, because we're also going to factor in
what you gave up,
contract, and what you got in return.
Yeah. So who got the best deal?
Run that through your head, y'all. We'll put it on the poll. Best deal made for one of the marquee wide receivers.
And you look at both sides. So who so you got 8 teams in there to tell me who got the best deal? Was it Green Bay or the Raiders? Was it the Ravens or the Cardinals? Was it the Eagles or the Titans on that? What was the other one? Was it the Dolphins or the Chiefs? All right, 505-246-0610. We'll discuss that next on the opening drive.
Right now we have reports of a crash on Manal Boulevard at the San Pedro.
Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Industries is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco. For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at
Give me a hoe if you
I'm a
got
hoe.
your funky bus fare.
Yeah! Draft hoe!
Did it.
Man, that was a good one.
Finally beat Jeff.
Might have been some hoes at the draft, I'm just saying.
Been a minute.
What? They don't hoe in Vegas on Friday?
I think that, yeah.
I mean, I don't even know what that means, but they might. Well, a little lightheaded. Hold on. Will you talk for a minute?
Absolutely. So the 4 big trades involving wide receivers.
Oh, this was the big question. I forgot
Going
about
back, so
yeah.
Devontae Adams,
Yeah.
Green Bay to Vegas.
What'd they give up?
Tyreek Hill,
They give up a lot of capital.
not as much as you think. Tyreek Hill
Okay.
to Miami.
Yep.
A.J. Brown to Philadelphia. Hollywood Brown to Arizona.
All right. So
what
did
do you
Miami give back to Kansas City? Wasn't it a haul?
It really wasn't.
All right. So what'd they get? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to land on the side, unless it's Philadelphia, because Philadelphia, they got their guy. They were going to pay him. They got a quarterback on a rookie contract, so they can afford to pay a receiver. Okay. I'm probably going to land on the side of what did I get back if it's not Philadelphia.
So let's go. I'll go through the competition.
Yeah.
Las Vegas sent 22nd pick and 53rd pick to Green Bay.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right, so
That's why that was
it's not Green Bay.
mind-boggling.
All right, so it's not Green Bay.
Kansas City got number 29. They got a 2nd and 4th round pick this year, a 4th and 6th round pick next year. That ain't great. Ain't great, y'all. Tennessee got 18 and 101, which is a 3rd round pick. And Baltimore got number 23.
All right, then Vegas got the best deal. Vegas got the best deal.
Philadelphia got the best deal.
So I say Vegas got the best deal because I think they got the best player. They did. They got the best. I mean, as good as A.J. Brown is, and he's younger than Devontae Adams, Devontae Adams is the best player, and they gave up, I mean, a first and a second.
I have it Philadelphia, then Las Vegas.
When they do these trades and like they negotiate for years later, you know, like their rounds late in later years.
Yeah.
Are they betting on like next year we might have 4th and 5th rounds, but we might be able to trade back up again? Like it's always a trade deal, so they don't really look at the 2 or 3 years later down. They just
kind of
focus on this year, and then they'll deal with that later.
Some of them are next, 2 or 3 years. Next year's pick. So like JJ just said, Kansas City got a 4th and a 6th in next year's draft. And so,
but are they hoping that maybe they can trade that to
maybe
get a 2nd or 3rd?
They're building capital for other trades, or it's what do I need now?
Because it doesn't seem beneficial.
What do I need now as opposed to what I need? They're probably looking at a lot of contracts. Gotcha. I have more contracts expiring next year, so I'm going to have more free agency. So I'm going to be looking to bring in more stuff. Right now, I've got immediate needs. So it's
that makes sense.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors that go into it. Yeah, I'm going to tell you. So why do you think Philly? Because they basically gave up the same thing.
Yeah, and
they both paid a lot of money.
I get it. I don't think that there's a huge gap between Adams.
I agree with that.
And A.J. Brown.
I 100% agree with that.
I just like A.J. Brown, 25, 4 years, $100 million. Devontae Adams, 29, 5 years, $140 million contract.
Yeah.
That he just signed.
So you just think it's a better contract for the team?
It's a better contract.
Okay.
More length in the prime years that you're getting. Tyreek Hill, Miami, I have them 3. Because that's, when we heard 5 draft picks, you're like, wow.
Yeah, but
then you look at the draft pick.
First, a 2nd, 2 fourths, and a 6th.
6th is part of that. Like, that's a steal, but it's 4 years, 120. For Tyreek Hill, he's 28 years old. And I'm just not a fan of Marquise Brown. I think this is good for Arizona because he pretty much fits into what you lost out of Christian Kirk, but it's not.
Or Alex Kirk.
Wow. Yeah. Maybe Alex Kirk in the red zone probably do some damage.
He'd be good, yeah. He had soft hands, too. He did. I can listen to the A.J. Brown thing because I initially I was going Philadelphia. They get a 25-year-old, big, tall stud receiver to go with a young quarterback. And
for $100 million?
So, and let me tell you where else Philadelphia just got really, really good. And I don't know that I believe in their running backs, although they're running back by stable, right? They I think they ran 4 or 5 of them last year. But now I look at Devontae Smith, who was their first-round pick last year, who is a smaller but faster and really good possession receiver. And now I've just given my young quarterback a stud number 1 weapon to go with the guy that I drafted last year. They've got a good receiving core.
And what Philadelphia did too. And by the way, they also got a defensive tackle that they Love in the first round to add to that defense.
Yeah.
What this does for Philadelphia is it's given Jalen Hurts one more shot, saying you
he's
have
gonna get that shot anyway.
AJ
Now he's
Brown
got a legit
and
shot.
Devontae Smith, very similar to Miami and Tua.
Yeah.
Like we got you two legitimate dudes.
Go do it.
We're running this out there. But then it also puts Philadelphia in a great position, just like Miami would be if like they just don't like Tua going into next year. That now becomes a destination for if there's maybe a veteran quarterback that sours somewhere.
Well, in Miami, it's Tom Brady.
Yeah, it's setting up for Tom Brady to come in and take ownership of the team. But now Philadelphia goes in there saying, all right, Jalen, if it doesn't work, sorry. But now it becomes very attractive to maybe one of those, who knows who that quarterback's going to be next year, the veteran quarterback on the market, looking for a home. The Eagles, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith.
I don't know that there is one next year.
Let's see what's going on.
I don't know that I mean, I'm looking. It will be Kyler Murray, right?
No.
You don't think so? Who else is up next year?
Well, they're going to sign Kyler Murray to a long term.
I think they will, but that's the only one that I see with an expiring contract that makes you interested.
Doesn't have to be
because I believe Lamar Jackson's going to be signed, don't you? Because that would be the other one. I mean, I'm looking through, and everybody else is pretty locked up right now. I don't see another area. But then, the quarterback market changes so drastically year to year anyway that I have no idea what it's going to look like a year from now. But who's got the best receiving core in the NFC East? Is it Dallas or is it Philly? Commanders did not get a running mate for McLaurin, did they? They go center?
They got
they did get
Jonah Dotson, Penn State.
Okay, the fifth one. So they just upgraded too to give – who's their quarterback now?
Carson Wentz.
God bless him. So, you know what I was thinking when I saw yesterday on the quarterback stuff, Daniel Jones they didn't pick up his option. Now, he's still going to be the quarterback this year. I started thinking Baker there. Does that start to me? I'm looking for a place for Baker Mayfield. Like, I think Baker Mayfield could still play. I don't know that I think he's a star, but I think he's a starter. Do you understand the difference?
Yes, I do.
Do you think he's better than Mitchell Trubisky? Because I do.
That to me right there is a push.
Okay. So would you say
I would Baker Mayfield over Daniel Jones? Yes.
I think there's 5 or 6 spots right now where I would say he would be an upgrade. Now, a massive upgrade, I don't know. But could he be an upgrade in Pittsburgh, in Houston, in Washington? I don't know what to make of Marcus Mariota, honestly, JJ. I in Carolina, would he be an upgrade? I know you think he would be. Would he be an upgrade in Detroit? I'm not ready to say that yet. In Atlanta, like there, in Seattle, there's 5, 6, 7 spots where I think if you put Baker Mayfield in there now, don't you think he's an upgrade? And again, Baker Mayfield had his flashes. He was broken last year. What we watched last year wasn't, I don't think, the best Baker Mayfield. Now, the issue is the fact that the off-field stuff, who is he as a person, as a leader, the fact that none of his former players are coming to his defense on this concerns me.
And it's something that we can't ignore.
No, I
anymore.
agree.
Like there is time to push back on it, saying, is there something really here, or is she just kind of going overboard, finding a reason why everyone's out on Baker Mayfield? But there's too much smoke involving that, and just the attitude and who he is in the locker room to not have it part of the conversation.
Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610. We are going to hear from A. Marie, I believe, coming up at about 9:30 this morning. She's at the draft. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck, Stephanie, Adrian on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco. For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection.
Day 1 of the draft in the books. Day 2 today. It's like, how long? 3 days of the draft. That's how cool they are. That's how big they are. That's how big this is. Almost as big as a Stephanie Ho. Gopher says, Jeff, I thought she was going to hoe until he got back. He showed me Fonzie. The big cat. I heard less about the draft yesterday than the big cat walking around Southern Hills. Yep. Tiger played. Tiger's, look. What do you think about Tiger maybe playing again soon? Huh? Is that a big deal? Anything Tiger does is a big deal. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. All right, what are you looking for today? Like for you today in the draft now, are you looking – this is where as big as round 1 is, to me, this is the biggest day of the draft. We get rounds 2 and 3 today? I get 2 rounds?
That is correct.
All right, this is – you're going to get some lockdown corners. You're going to get some starting offensive linemen. You're going to see some running backs go today. You're going to see more receivers go today. This is where, with all due respect, there's only 32 of these a year. There's a league full of guys who are drafted 2 through 7, free agents. And as sexy as round number 1 is, today is a big, big day for these teams, especially those teams who didn't have a pick like the Broncos and the Rams in the first round.
Yes, I'm looking forward to the tight ends and running backs.
Ooh, the first tight end off the board might be a Mountain West guy.
There were no tight ends or running backs selected in the first round, so the best players at those positions are available today.
That's right.
And you're going to see them come off the board when you're looking at the running backs. Breece Hall, Iowa State. I think he's probably the favorite to be the first running back selected. You have Kenneth Walker, Michigan State, James Cook, Georgia, Isaiah Spiller, Texas A&M, Brian Robinson, Alabama. I think all those guys find their way being selected today. And then tight end, you mentioned it, the dude from the Mountain West, Trey McBride, Colorado State. Expect him to get selected today as well.
Yeah. 505-246-0610. 888-922-0610. Daniel, good morning to you. What's happening?
Good morning, Jeffrey.
What's happening?
¿Cómo estás?
All's good, man.
¿Cómo estás?
All is good. All is good. You?
Good. All right, brother. Good. Hey, so is Anne-Marie getting married today, or she already did it?
I believe it's tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow.
Yeah, I believe it's tomorrow.
So I'm calling to give her some props because I really like Anne-Marie's laugh. When she laughs, I laugh, no matter what it is. Maybe it's her comedic fortitude or whatever it is, but she's got a great laugh, and she makes me laugh. And if you talk to her today, wish her good luck and a happy marriage from me.
Will do.
Because somebody needs to tell Ryan, happy wife, happy life, right?
That's right. I think, yeah.
You and I are not.
Yeah.
I mean,
Ryan,
I'm not real good at the marriage.
Who's Ryan?
I've tried it a couple of times, and
talking
me
about
and my
the same
girlfriend
people?
have been getting along for 12 years without doing that, and it seems to work. So,
yeah, that's right.
But you guys, I'm enjoying the draft. A lot of crazy stuff happening.
Seahawks.
Enjoying the NBA.
Seahawks going to move up and get that quarterback today?
Dude, both fingers and toes are crossed. We need it badly. We got an offensive tackle last night, I believe, a pretty good one. But let's see what happens, man. I got my fingers crossed. I know it can't be Drew Luck, man. It just cannot. I just don't believe that. So let's see what happens. You guys have a great weekend.
Be well, Daniel.
Okay, bye-bye.
See you. Bye. All right. So he's a Seahawk fan. So, first of all, Amory's fiance, soon-to-be husband, is named
Kyle?
Yeah. What did he say, Ryan? Look, we all make mistakes. I'm down with it.
I was like, Anne-Marie and Ryan, are we talking
At
about
least
the
there
same
was a
people?
Y in there.
Yeah, Anne-Marie and Ryan might be different than A-Marie and Kyle. I think we talk about the same couple. It is what it is. That's beautiful though. All right, I got what kind of stuff I got? Ooh, I got interesting correspondence on the email machine. And I'll get those to you. You can continue to send them at 505-246-0610. Who will somebody move up to draft Malik Willis, the quarterback? Nobody ran to stretch for a quarterback in round one. By the way, Ryan said, I'm already married. Can't marry her too. Yeah, fair enough. He also said he saw the Brett Favre Super Bowl in New Orleans, Pats Panthers in Houston. And he said everyone needs to do the Super Bowl once. Yeah, that's right. Everyone needs to do that. I think that's right. All right. Get another hour for you. Anne-Marie's going to join us from, or Anne-Marie and Kyle and Ryan from Las Vegas, New Mexico, coming up in the next hour.
It's Vegas. Who knows? You might have met Orion.
That's it.
You know, there's someone out there that I got a great deal in Vegas. I cannot wait.
Yep.
And then you end up in Las Vegas, New Mexico. You're like, what?
What happened? Have you ever had people come to town and see the Las Vegas, 100 and whatever mile sign, go, oh, it's that close? Let's just go to Vegas. It's never happened to you?
Not the same.
Yeah, a little different. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
I'm MJ Acosta-Ruiz with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Round one
of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco. For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All about Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, and JJ Buck.
Day 1 of the draft, NFL Draft in the books. Good morning to you. Day 2 today. Marie's there. She's going to check in from Vegas with us. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Hoops yesterday. The Suns close out the Pelicans on a perfect shooting night from Chris Paul. 14 of 14 from the field. 4 of 4 from the free throw line. 33 points for the point guard. 115-109. The Suns move on. They finish off the Pelicans. 76ers rolled the Raptors in Canada last night, 132-97. And the Mavericks in Utah finish off the Jazz 98-96. So next round, Suns will play the Mavs. The Warriors are waiting around for the winner of the Memphis-Minnesota series. Philadelphia moves on, and they will get that's Milwaukee. No, it's Milwaukee, Boston, and Philadelphia, Miami, correct?
That is correct.
In the East. So that's what you're getting in the next round of playoffs. Now, this should get good now. You know, once it gets away from the NFL draft and the draft stops dominating everything that is the world of sports. You know, we haven't talked about this. You know, another team, the Jets and the Giants are getting a lot of love. I thought the Lions got better yesterday. I think they were hoping Aiden Hutchinson slipped to number 2. And when the Jaguars took Trayvon Walker at number 1, the pick was in immediately. They took the guy out of Michigan. I think they get a terrific edge rusher. And then they traded with the Vikings and moved up to number 12. They get Jamison Williams, the receiver who, if he didn't blow out his ACL in the championship game, would have probably been the number 1 receiver on the board. And so if you're looking long-term, guys return from that. That would be your number 1 receiver, and I think you got a stud pass catcher for a number of years.
Yeah, St. Brown, rookie out of USC last year.
Was terrific.
Was good. So all of a sudden you feel very confident about the wide receiver core in Detroit moving forward. Jared Goff can win with a good system. Now, can they get there with this coaching staff? We shall see. But I like the direction they're going with their wide receivers. And you look at what they got. You know, they moved up to 12, gave up 32, 34, 36, got 46 back, had 2 first-round selections. Good day for the Lions.
Who were, each year we kind of go through the quarterbacks and say it's a huge year for Derek Carr, Jameis Winston, whatever. When I go through it, it's a huge year for and I'll give you the quarterbacks that I'm looking at right now. That it's kind of, make or break in regards to, are they the guy moving forward in their franchise? It's Jared Goff at the top of my list. And I know there's a lot of people who say that decision's made. He's not their guy. Look, I don't know if he's a good quarterback or not. He was the number 1 pick in the draft, right? Wasn't he the number 1 overall?
He was.
He's making a lot of money. He's on a bad team. I didn't think he was horrible last year, and I don't think he had any weapons. Now, I think DeAndre Swift became a nice weapon out of the backfield for him, and you said Amon St. Brown was a good receiver. But I think he's at the top of the list. I'm going to tell you, Mariota and Trubisky don't get a second year. This is a 1-year tryout for both of those guys. They were both top 2 picks, and it's them. I mean, if you want to throw Carson Wentz in there, fine, okay, if you think the Commanders are thinking that's long-term. But we're going to be sitting here 365 days from now, and we're going to be talking about Washington and Seattle as of now, unless they get Malik Willis. And it's a big year for Tua. Let me put Tua on that list. Is that fair?
Yes.
think with the weapons that they now have gotten for Tua Tagovailoa, I think he's on that list. You got anybody else that you're thinking that it's? I mean, are we there with Tannehill yet?
We're not there with Tannehill yet.
Okay. Are we there with who's my quarterback in Indianapolis? Oh, it's Matt Ryan. All right. And Carolina's going to be looking for a quarterback next year. And hell, Tampa Bay probably is too, right? Can you see Brady there another year after this? I can't.
No. So that's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams.
That what?
That
next year you're going to be looking
next
for quarterback?
year could be looking for quarterbacks.
Well,
and I'd say for sure Detroit, Houston, the Giants, Seattle, Washington. Now we'll see what
Seattle may
happens with
now.
Malik Willis.
Yeah.
You know, if he lands at one of those destinations, then he can push that timetable down the road a little bit.
Which shows me there's going to be a place for Baker Mayfield. Right? Don't you think Baker Mayfield slides into something?
And we knew this was going to happen with Baker Mayfield and Jimmy Garoppolo.
What about Daniel Jones?
Let it play out. I ain't touching Daniel Jones.
You don't want Daniel Jones at all?
Stick.
Okay.
Like right now. Because it's also the issue for Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
You're not getting time. You're just getting the player really for a year.
To fill in. Yeah.
And then you have to say, oh, we're going to pay this person. If this is a great year, then what are we going to do?
Yeah. What about Jim Garoppolo?
And Jimmy Garoppolo, he had left shoulder surgery. So he's in the process of rehabbing from that.
So are they both free agents?
No. Oh, they're both backups right now. They're both under contract with their teams. But both of those teams have someone who's going to play in front of them, right? Garoppolo, they drafted Trey Lance last year, and they've made it pretty clear they're going with Trey Lance now. And the Browns made the trade, and they brought in Deshaun Watson and paid him a lot of money, and he's their quarterback, and Baker's still under contract. And unless they release him and eat a bunch of money or find someone to trade, then both these guys are sitting there. Now, Garoppolo, the Niners can go to camp with Garoppolo. I don't think Jim Garoppolo is a malcontent. I don't think he's going to be a negative in that camp. If he goes in, he loses that job. Like, Jimmy's a nice guy, and he'll take it, and whatever. With everything that's been said and gone on around Cleveland, I don't know how they can go to camp and keep him there, right? I mean, and he's not going to camp. Or do you think that somehow they can get to July and go, all right, well, Baker, you're under contract. Go to work, and you're our backup quarterback. Does that somehow work? After everything that's went down there.
I don't think it works. There's a chance that Baker Mayfield could be Deshaun Watson 2.0, a dude that kind of gets paid to not even do anything.
So say just don't show up, we're just going to pay you?
Or, at that case, if you're Cleveland, you're like, we'll eat like half this salary. Just someone give us a 5th-round pick for this dude.
5th-round pick, and we'll pay for it.
Yeah, just like let's just
get him out of the building.
Yeah, it's anything at this point. Which
at that
makes
point,
sense is if you're just looking for a get by, let's bring a dude in to get to next year. The
at
draft.
that point, who are
happens.
you? Who are you? That if it comes to that point where they'll pay half his salary, I got to give
brings all those teams in. I think Seattle, I think Carolina.
Okay, Washington.
No, not with what they.
So are you less sold on Carson Wentz or like a Daniel Jones? Like, because with all due respect, the Carson Wentz thing is about to expire, isn't it? I don't know how much more, and maybe that's not fair. Maybe we're just totally judging him on that last game of the season. Because if you look at the body of work last year, he wasn't horrible. He wasn't good. I'm not sitting here and telling you he's a guy that I'm going out and I'm looking to build for the long term. He had him in a position to get to the playoffs. They just had to beat Jacksonville. They didn't. He was horrible. Was he horrible all year?
He wasn't horrible all year. I think if you're Washington, it is an upgrade from Taylor Heineke.
Okay.
I do believe that. But Carson Wentz, I don't think he's ever going to achieve the potential top-tier quarterback that we saw before the knee injury, because he was in the MVP conversation. He was having a fantastic year. I don't think he's ever going to be that guy again. He is
crazy, isn't it?
Carson Wentz is, Baker Mayfield is, insert quarterback where I think we have a good team. Can we just have a guy that maybe can get us to 10 wins?
Mitchell Trubisky. Marcus Mariota.
Yes.
Okay. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. What are your thoughts on the first day of the draft, the NBA playoffs, going into a weekend? What do you got going this weekend? What are you watching for? You going to watch the draft? Do you enjoy watching the draft? Aaron Rodgers finally came out and said, wow, I was surprised they traded Devontae Adams. Were you? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
There are a lot of high school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit CarCrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco. For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
AM 610, the Sports Animal.
So baseball's addressing pace of play. What does that mean to you? Well, if an average game in the minor leagues gets shortened by 20 minutes, is that a big deal? It feels like it's a big deal. And when a Hall of Famer, or at least a potential future Hall of Famer, gets thrown out of a game in which he, isn't really even on the roster, who knew he was there, is that something? It's the opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. So, and you can get in on the draft if you want. We're still here for that. Todd Helton, Rocky's great, who's been in town this week along with Clint Hurdle. Clint was with us yesterday on the show. I thought he was terrific. Got thrown out yesterday. So DJ Peterson got called out on a third strike without taking a pitch. It was 2 strikes. He took too much time out of the batter's box, umpire enforcing the new rules. Strike 3, you're out, inning's over. Like, what? What? And you're sitting in the stands drinking your beer going, what the hell just happened? Okay? It's the new rules. I guess Todd Helton, you were out there yesterday. I guess Todd was chirping a little bit and he got thrown out of the game?
Yes.
Okay.
Todd Helton got ejected because Todd Helton is not here for your pace of play rules.
All right. So I'm looking at the story that did Grammer write this? Yeah, Grammer did. And he's so good with numbers. Minor league baseball, since the penalties for pace of play were enforced in the middle of April, the average game time before April 16th was 2 hours and 59 minutes. So basically 3 hours. The Isotopes were playing 3 hour and 7 minute games. The minor league baseball reduction in time across the board since that started was 20 minutes. Games are lasting 2 hours and 39 minutes instead of 2:59. Isotope games are even reduced more. It was a 34-minute reduction. JJ, a half hour is a big deal.
When we are talking 30 to 40 minutes, that is
20. I'll take 20 is a big deal.
Yes. I know initially when people say, oh, you're taking 10, 15 minutes off a game, okay. But if you're pushing 30 to 40 minutes,
yeah,
that is a huge difference.
All right, so baseball wants this. They tell you baseball fan wants this. I'm going to guess baseball radio producer loves this, right? I mean, you're back here a lot during these games, right? And
yes.
So if you're out of here a half hour earlier, that's kind of a good thing for you, right?
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, no, so you dig it. JJ, is this good for baseball?
Yes, because when you're watching these games, it doesn't hurt the game.
It doesn't. You're right.
It's just, all right, you threw a pitch, get it back, step in the box. It doesn't. It's not like saying, oh, you can't do this defensively, you can't do that, you can't play a zone. It's just, let's go.
You're not changing the game. You're just saying, let's go.
Yeah.
Stop scratching
Throw
yourself
pitch,
and adjusting your
get
gloves.
back in the box, get ready.
You don't have to adjust your cup after every single pitch. Am I wrong?
You know where your feet go. There's a big hole.
Right, exactly. Yes. And your cup is not moving every freaking time. You got to spit 3 times, readjust. Remember, Nomar Garciaparra. Nomar Garciaparra.
Batting gloves. Batting gloves.
After every pitch, he would step out, put his bat on his shoulder, take his right hand with his left batting glove, undo the Velcro and restrap it, go to his other batting glove, and then kind of kick the dirt out of his cleats and then step after every pitch.
Oh my goodness!
He was the human rain delay. It's like, what are we doing?
So there's a writer for Baseball America.
Yes.
J.J. Cooper.
Yeah.
And he's been keeping track of this. And it is really interesting. He's posted a lot of photos that he screenshots from minor league baseball game broadcast. And he says this is a 2-hour, 30-minute game versus a 3-hour game. And there are still fans in the seats for the 2-hour 30 game. The 3-hour game, those fans are gone. It is very impactful. Just
is it a 9-0 game compared to a 3-2 game, or
just the time that half hour matters. That is a huge difference. Of say you're at Isotopes Park, you're leaving at 9, getting home at 9:30,
as opposed to
9:30. Oh, you're pushing 10 if you got the kids.
Yeah.
You're much more comfortable probably getting the kids to bed before 10 than after 10.
Well, that's right.
I know we're all parents have been there. They're like, you know what? I think we can survive if we get it like in this range. But like something like that, it seems small, but when you're pushing 30 to 40 minutes, that is huge for minor league baseball. And you're getting enough of a sample size to see a meaningful difference. And you mentioned the numbers. That's what Josh Hushan put together. And just like you're talking about a producer or a broadcaster that has experienced these games, been in all those ballparks, been in those moments, games are going to get out of control. It happens. You're going to play longer games at Isotopes Park when it's 10-11.
Got less time to drink beer.
And the team's scoring 7 runs in the 8th inning. And he's don't have a good bullpen. It's going to happen.
I think our first game right after that happened, it was like 2 hours, 14 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, it was fast.
And you feel it, huh?
But yeah, because I mean, you have to record everything.
Yeah.
You're going doing commercials, everything. I think our longest one did end up still being over 3 hours, and that was only because we had 2 ejections during that game, and it was a big.
All right. So the last game I went to, I don't think I noticed. I'm going to go tonight. I think I'm going tomorrow. I will. I will kind of pay attention to it. By the way, tacos yesterday, Taco 10.
So you're going to have longer games when you're getting tacos.
Yeah, it was but they scored. I don't even think it was that long last night.
It was
yesterday afternoon, though, right?
Yeah, but
No, I think by the first hour we were already in the 5th.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. And as a fan, have you noticed it? Going out to the park, does it make a difference? Do you feel like you're missing anything? I don't. You still get your chili races, and you still get your spinny bat, dizzy guy. You still have Dylan out there telling you about Albuquerque. I think it's beautiful, right? All that stuff. This is what baseball was intending, and so I'm going to guess, JJ, if it continues on this trend, if the data continues to show the results that it's currently producing, this may be in the big leagues next year.
That's right, and also credit the umpires because they're taking on a burden, man. They're out there enforcing the rules,
throwing out potential Hall of
Famers.
Right. And yesterday, I think
Legends.
there was 2 bats broken. Someone deliberately broke their bat.
Yeah,
over the
I heard
knee,
Josh tell me he snapped a bat over his knee. I was out doing that remote yesterday, listening.
Yeah, so they're getting mad.
Yeah,
Those poor umps.
So the game started at 11, and I got back to the office probably after that remote about 1:15. Right, and the buses were just pulling up and starting to leave. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. So this is what baseball wants. You sell less beer, though, don't you?
And then when do they start the
concession.
computer?
I don't think you sell less beer.
Aren't they going to be starting like a computer pitching strike zone?
So that's May what?
17th?
Yeah, that'll be interesting to talk on that.
No, that's going to be the interesting one, right? And I guess they've been testing it out, so the umpires, they're calling. How are they doing this now? The umpires are calling their own balls and strikes, but they're kind of not.
Can't really get a definitive answer on that because that would be very frustrating and cause a lot of anxiety if I was an umpire.
Right?
Or I'm still calling
like,
the game.
Right? You're like fighting the computer now.
And they're like, ball. You're like, I just called that a strike.
So is there someone in your ear that's telling you ball or strike, or is it beep or? And I got to make I gotta make the difference. Beep beep. Wah, wah. I know. I want to know what he's hearing in his ear.
Can you select the voice?
I'm gonna. How about an umpire who spent his whole career calling balls and strikes, and now he's back there and he's got to wait for whatever's being told in his ear. And what are we going to do when technology goes down? By the way, we going back to humans? Because technology will go down at times in a playoff game. Go back to human calling? Well, I haven't called the ball and strike in months. I have this robot doing it for me.
Did you really say playoff times, Jeff?
Yeah.
And
not at Isotopes Park.
Sometimes even at the high school level or little league level, it's hard to get umpires to come out and volunteer for those games
More
or
so
do
at
all
those
those.
levels.
And so then now you're going into these bigger levels, and now a computer's calling it. So it's like
When you have to listen to Billy
fighting
Bob
with
tell
these
you how
umpires.
terrible a person you are when you're just there, so they're simming to play
Right,
baseball.
you're like, just go eat your 50-cent hot dog.
More so at the youth level, Steph.
Yeah, it's hard.
Well, you know why? Because we're a-holes sitting in the stands.
Right, you have to get most of the time. The teams are playing previous players that are now in high school to come out and do the little league games
I did that when
to
I was
be
about
on the
16.
field.
I had an escort. Me and my brother did. My brother and I, we did a doubleheader, and he did home plate for the second game. And I don't think he was that good, but he was getting abused.
Yeah, Mile High, we used to have a list of name high school kids we could just call.
No, I had to escort him to the car. Like there was a dad coming
wow.
after him. It was bad. Yeah, it was bad. A couple of years ago, one of Addie's friends was playing in an all-star tournament, in when they were 12. So we went out and watched it, and we're sitting in the stands. And the parents were on the umpire, like they always are. And I wasn't saying anything, but I was kind of like laughing. And then the umpire, because I didn't think he was very good, but they were all over him. But I didn't really have a dog in the fight. And he came over on the first base side, and the umpire came over. He said, "All right, that's enough. I don't need your help." And this is the one thing I did say. I said, "Well, you obviously do." He said, "That's it." And he cleared the whole stands and made everybody leave.
Got everyone kicked out. No. Like, Mike, I don't even have a dog in this fight.
I know. And they're all like, "Who is this guy?" And we all had to go stand like out in right field and watch the game. And I did say one thing.
Like,
I said,
it's flipped out.
I'm like, "You obviously do." And that's it. That's it. You're all out of here. And he cleared the whole stands. I hadn't said anything up until that point.
Look at me. I'm going to be funny. Oh.
Well, I didn't even think about it. It was just instinctual because he obviously
drink beers
does.
in the outfield then from your cars.
They all still talk
Everybody's
to me.
just flashing their lights.
Oh, yeah, he really does need help. They got it to that point. All I did was, what do you want me to do, man? I
pushed it over the top.
I was the
like, you're on the edge. Let's just jump.
I was the straw.
Let's go.
Is that bad? I feel somewhat, I don't know, maybe somewhat bad.
Ooh.
All right, 5:05. That's why it's hard to get umpires. But yeah, I know I did it. It's Jeff, you're a jerk. I know. I've been called worse today on the text line. Or was that yesterday? Whenever it came in. Yeah, I read it, sir. I read it, or ma'am, whoever the case may be, and thank you. I tell JJ all the time, avoid the temptation to respond to the trickle of one, or do I say the flow of one?
Flow
of
trickle.
one. Flow, right? Avoid the temptation to respond to the flow of one.
Also known as watering the rocks.
Also known as watering the rocks. What happens when you water the rocks, Steph? What grows?
Nothing.
Nothing.
It's stuck with weeds.
That's right. So I'm going to avoid the temptation to water the rocks as well. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Hit the open road. Finance your next vehicle with Kirtland Federal Credit Union. They've got everything you need to achieve your financial goals. No matter what your financial goals are, the products over at Kirtland Federal Credit Union and personal service will get you where you want to be. Looking to buy that car? Competitive rates and unbeatable service. They'll help you drive away in the vehicle you want with payments with which you can live. Looking for a new home? Choose from a wide variety of mortgage programs. Partner with a team of friendly and knowledgeable mortgage experts. Looking to improve the home you currently own? Turn the value of your home into cash. You'll use that for home improvements, for upgrades, for more, whatever you want. If you're planning for retirement, investing for retirement starts with Kirtland Financial Services. Talk to an advisor today and start walking the path to a confident financial future. How can they help you today? Stop by any branch or go online and visit them at kirtlandfcu.org. That's kirtlandfcu.org. It's banking made easy. Membership eligibility required. See your representative for complete details.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
It's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco. For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're #1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services.
95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Slower games. I don't know. That means less hours, though. Ballpark. You're on an hour there. Opening drive. The Isotopes play tonight. Sacramento's River Cats are in town. It's isn't it like a mariachi beanie giveaway tonight or something? And then tomorrow's Women in Sports Day out at the Ball Yard. Opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. Glad you're with us on a Monday. What do you got? Oh, look. What's in your hot hands?
Oh, it's just a release on tomorrow's game.
Yeah.
I'm calling the Lobo softball this weekend.
Yeah.
UNLV in town.
All right, catch that on Lobo TV.
Mountain West Network, if you're going to throw it on.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it is good stuff.
What
do you got?
It's always have fun. But so they're playing tomorrow's game at 3 o'clock.
Tomorrow at 3?
UNLV. Because they gave tickets, and they're bringing both UNLV and UNM softball to the game. Because cool. Andrea Howard is going to be one of those women that's highlighted. Of course, the La Cueva product. All-time leader in home runs at UNM, Olympian.
Yeah, played for the Italian Olympic team. Yeah. She mashes, dude.
Dude, it's insane. The last 2 series, they have stopped throwing to Andrea Howard.
So she's getting the Barry Bonds treatment?
She has 16 intentional walks.
Is that right?
In the last 6 games.
Damn.
And so what that has done, it has dropped her below the minimum number of plate appearances to qualify for a batting title.
Oh, that sucks.
Yes.
That really sucks. Mailman, what's good?
Fellas, it's been a minute.
Been
but,
too many minutes. What's good? Nice to hear you.
Hey, I watched the draft last night. I didn't watch the last 3 picks, but I watched most of it. So, being that you guys are as wise as you are, I need to pick your brain because I felt that my Steelers should have went with the other guy, but because they had an interview, right? I had heard there was an interview with the Steeler regime a while back, and they said the reason they had not been signing Pitt players or people from Pennsylvania is because they didn't want, if they didn't work out and they had to cut them or release them, they didn't want to alienate the fan base. And yet they went and took this guy. Now, I don't know if he was the best quarterback, but from what I'm hearing, the other quarterback had more athleticism and possibly more upside, even though he was from Liberty and he was from a smaller, I guess, program. So if you guys discuss this, I apologize.
No, you're good.
But
Mailman, I think so. They spent more time with Kenny Pickett because he was there and they felt comfortable. I don't know that organization would make a move to take a lesser talent simply to appease a fan base. Of all the organizations, I just don't think they would. I've seen evaluations going both ways. And JJ, haven't you having these guys ranked 1, 2, 2, 1 different ways? Has it been Malik Willis more one than Pickett for you?
Yeah,
I know you believe more in Malik Willis, but Mailman, I think it's gone both ways. Look, you got plenty of quarterbacks who didn't play in the ACC and the SEC. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger was there for how many years, and he came out of Miami of Ohio. So you can play and find a quarterback. Josh Allen played at Wyoming. Like, they're there. I don't know that there's a rule, but I got to believe that franchise especially, don't you, did their research and got the guy they thought was the best fit for them?
I would hope they did, but I don't know. I mean, I heard both good things about both. I guess Tomlin did sit down with both, and one report came out. I'm not sure which quarterback says it was like he's just like us. He's eating hot dogs or whatever they had at one of the or chicken nuts, chicken strips or whatever from one of the meetings. It's just that it's the AFC is literally a battleground for the next 3 to 5 years. And I just want my team to be in the best position possible. I know it's not because they waited too long to take care of what was going on with Ben, so I know it's going to be a struggle with us. And we've never had an issue with our defense. But truly, without an offense, there's going to be problems in the AFC, and the AFC is tough. I wish I could just relegate us to the NFC right now, and we'd have a better shot at getting through the NFC, but the AFC is a minefield.
Yep, that's the truth. All right, man, don't be a stranger. All right, good to hear you.
All right, thank you, guys.
Take care. It's an interesting one that's the quarterback they went with, and I know a lot of people were surprised.
I don't see a big difference between Kenny Pickett and Mitchell Trubisky.
Fair.
I think it's like the same prospect that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And at least with Trubisky, he's experienced. You saw in Chicago, it wasn't the best offensive system, and he took them to the playoffs.
He had his moments.
And you know that Pittsburgh, you believe in that defense. They've never finished below 500. You invest in the offense.
Yeah, look, they could.
With Mike Tomlin.
Let me be very real. What your eye test saw a really good quarterback at Pitt, didn't it?
Hmm?
When you watch,
he was
Kenny
a Heisman
Pickett,
Trophy finalist.
Yeah, I just we're looking at Kenny Pickett as like, well, I mean, I don't know, he's all right, and maybe that's all he is. You tell me how he looked any worse in college than Mitch Trubisky, than Marcus Mariota, than any other Baker Mayfield. Now you're saying, all right, so he's going to be those guys, Jeff? Then what? Big deal. That's not what I'm looking for. No, and that's fair. This guy put up terrific numbers, made great passes. By all accounts, was a good leader. It's a very real probability. I'm going to say not even possibility. I'm going to say probability with that organization that they did their homework, and this is the guy that they had rated higher.
Of course they did. They wouldn't have selected him if he wasn't rated higher than Malik Willis. Like, of course this is their guy. And I think with Kenny Pickett too, this is going to be something that he is going to be one of the dudes that gets that chip on his shoulder and say, all right, none of y'all thought this was going to be a good draft class. He's going to come in there, and heck, he could even win the starting quarterback job this year. And because the NFL comp I'm looking at from Matt Miller, the ESPN guy, Kirk Cousins. And that's just like right along what I'm thinking about with Kenny Pickett. Does he have that next level?
All right, 505-246-0610. We will wrap it up when we get back on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This is Boomer Esiason with CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by Athletic Greens. One scoop of AG1 has.
For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
No A. Marie today. Steph talked to her. I think she's on her way to it's 8:45 in the morning there, and the draft starts at 6. She's on her way to the draft. I think she'll be on with 2 men on in the afternoon. But she's doing her podcast, and she's very busy, so no way Marie today. But we're okay. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. We've been talking about the pace of play in baseball. Jeff Grammer was out at the ballpark yesterday, and I gave you a lot of the stats that he gave. He's so good at putting things into perspective. But he sent me a note just now on some just kind of the talk about it, and I'm glad you called in this morning. Thank you, A, for listening, and B, participating in our show. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
We're bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and ready to hit the weekend.
When are the Lobos signing a forward?
When are the Lobos signing a forward, damn it? How come the Aggies can sign everybody and Lobos haven't signed anybody?
You guys are like the verbal Twitter feed
Dude,
right
I
now.
get it every single. So, like when I go on New Mexico Bowl calls, sales calls, whatever, and I go through our stuff. Hey, so what are the Lobos doing, man? When are they getting? When are they getting a big guy? Like it's not like kind of some days. It's every day, and I know it's your life too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, obviously, that's not what I was going to call in about. But I will say this: there are still 1,300 unsigned players in the portal. 200 of them that declared for the NBA draft or testing the water are probably coming back. There's 283 that declared. About 200 of those guys will come back. When that happens, then dominoes start to fall because there's that last roster spot or two where some teams have to wait to see if their player comes back. Yep. And if he comes back, well, then that guy that might be waiting for a Power 5 team then might be available for a Mountain West level team. So the Mountain West team is on hold waiting to see, the dominoes have to fall, but that doesn't happen until June 1st. So I would say that starting in mid-May when players start to come back from the NBA testing the waters, dominoes start to fall, then things happen. Activity right now doesn't mean success. Some teams got the guys they wanted, but just because you signed a whole bunch of guys just means you had a whole bunch of openings. So there's still going to be a lot of movement over the next month.
I think part of the uneasiness for Lobo fans is they've seen movement within the league. They saw, Boise State with a terrific signing. They see the Aggies reloading their roster, and they're just going, "What are we doing? What are they doing?" And your perspective is right. It's just so hard to preach patience.
Absolutely. I will say this as far as preaching patience. One of the coolest things I've ever seen was yesterday at 11:20 a.m. in front of a bunch of elementary and middle school kids, Todd Helton not having any patience with an umpire.
Look at you with the segue.
Didn't even exist when he played.
You're so good on the segue. All right, so Jeff wrote the story in the paper about the pace of play and the numbers, and you just sent me a note in kind of what Warren Schaefer, the manager, and Todd Helton, what their thought was and is. It feels like they're relatively in favor of the rule, but not blanket.
Yeah, they like it. And here's Schaefer. First of all, Schaefer was ecstatic that Todd Helton got thrown out in front of his players. He thinks that's a great thing. He said he doesn't know these guys, and he's sitting there fighting for them at 11:20 a.m. in a minor league game in Albuquerque. How cool is that? Yeah. So he was happy Todd Helton got fired, or ejected, not fired. But as far as the pace of play goes, he likes it. He gets that the games need to go quicker. And I talked to Brian Serven, the catcher, too, who happens to have 5 home runs in his last 4 games. So he's doing pretty good as a hitter with this pace of play. But I wanted to ask him from a catcher's perspective. As far as the pitching goes, they don't think it really matters too much. The pitchers actually seem to be finding a rhythm by working a little quicker. And it may be working better. The catcher does have a little problem when there's runners on and he has to do all those signals and hitting the chest, make sure the defense is set. You're only allowed one of those in at bat, a disengagement, they call it. And so the catcher can't stand in front of home plate and line up the defense like he used to be able to. So there's that. But the pitching, they're okay.
You're allowed one per at bat? Is that what you said? One per at bat?
The catcher is allowed to do one disengagement from the routine. Yeah, per at bat.
Okay.
So the hitting is where Brian Serven and Schaefer said this too. He said, Brian Serven, the catcher, said, we all feel rust, and I hear all the opposing batters coming up because he's the catcher. So he said that's the one thing is, as a hitter, our time is a little bit crunched because there's a 19-second clock. If the batter is not in the box with the final 9 seconds of that, then he's in violation. So he has to be ready and in the box at the 9-second
So he
mark.
gets 10 seconds. The batter gets 10 seconds to go no more and adjust his glove and spit and
about
adjust
the
his
10
cup.
seconds, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So he can do it for the first 10, and if the batter's not there, and that the clock starts again once the ball pretty much hits the catcher's glove. So like those first couple seconds, you might be adjusting from the swing you just missed or whatever. What they're saying is it's a little rushed, so either add at least 1, maybe 2 seconds to the batter side of things or to the clock so the batter has just a little bit more time. Or this is what I texted you about.
Yeah.
Schaefer said he doesn't know if he could ever get on board with, and I think a lot of baseball, call him purists or just the baseball guy, isn't going to get on board with this. They don't like an out being called with the bat still on the hitter's shoulder, or worse yet, without a pitch even being thrown. And that's what happened with DJ Peterson yesterday. That's why Helton was so mad. It wasn't just that a strike was assessed. It was that there were 2 strikes, and in this case, 2 strikes and 2 outs, so it ended the inning. But a pitch wasn't even thrown, and the inning ended.
So do
And
they
that's
want
what-
unlimited time in that situation? They want extended time? Like what are they asking for?
Where's the line? Yeah. So what Schaefer said was he is optimistic because they are showing willingness to make adjustments. So he's happy about that. He does think that before this gets to the majors next year, they will come up with something where a hitter's never going to be called out for a third out or a third strike anyway, without a pitch even being thrown. They want that third strike to be adjusted. So it'll still speed up the game a little bit if you're doing this on strike 1 and strike 2. He doesn't have a specific answer on what you do on strike 3. If a hitter then just wants to go no more and take a full minute, I don't think they're going to allow that. So maybe just on the third strike, you add 5 seconds to the clock. Maybe that would be the adjustment. And you just get a little extra time on that third strike to gather yourself or whatever. And if it happens then, well,
Then what?
then you're
at
out
some
of luck.
at
But
some point
right
you've
now,
got
they
to
just-
enforce, Jeff. At some point, so then what? I mean, if the penalty isn't going to be strike 3, what is it? Like
Yeah, and that's the thing is you have to make a strike 3 the penalty ultimately. I don't think you can take that out, but what you could do is relax what gets to that strike 3. The first 2 strikes could still be the same clock.
What if you go warning? I'm sorry to cut you off, but what if like the first? Okay,
Warning.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Add 5 seconds to it, and the first time with 2 strikes, hey. Umpire holds up his left hand and points, and he's warned, but knowing that, all right, dude, I'm not looking to call you out, but I'm going to on the next one.
That one makes probably the most sense to me because in DJ's case yesterday, and this happened in the Tuesday game when they were back too, Holder got called out in the second inning for a third strike. So it's happened twice this series to the Isotopes. I think if you get a warning, like there's no excuse after that because DJ looked surprised yesterday. I don't know if he was surprised that like I didn't know I took that much time, or if his surprise was more about like I can't believe you actually
really
called
doing
me
this.
out for that.
That's
So
insane. All right.
How have you've been in that park a lot for minor league baseball games? Do you notice a difference, or is it just the numbers, and then you're like, oh wow, that is a dramatic amount of time that's taken off the game?
I'm not making a joke here. I'll tell you where I've noticed it. Dylan is still shooting T-shirts from the sideline when they're ready to play, like in the 6th inning. He's still out there shooting his T-shirts. Taco and Chili are still walking off the field, and the pitcher's ready to go. And so they're cutting some time between innings too, because that clock once that clock gets started, like they're starting real quick. And what Josh Sushan told me yesterday, and as far as he goes, first of all, he can't tell as many stories throughout the game. And when he comes back from commercial, he said, I used to have about 45 seconds to say the score, tell everyone what the weather is, what the sky looks like, do a read, and talk about upcoming games, and then the first pitch. He said, now when we come back from commercial, it's first pitch, and we're going. And so I got to find the time to work in my reads and the upcoming promotions and stuff like that during play. And he used to have that about 45 seconds coming back from every commercial. So those are the places I notice it.
Yeah, and he's got to get out right
notice it
away
much.
at the end of an inning. He's got to get out right away too. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no hanging around and chatting. I thought the best thing he said yesterday was this: we have to adjust as broadcasters. He said we have to adjust because if you're not letting the game breathe, was his term, which is a great term, and you guys understand it better than most in broadcasting. If you don't let the game breathe a little bit, if you're just chattering like crazy, like me right now, a caller on a radio show, like you just chatter the whole time, well, it gets a little old. You don't want to hear Jeff Grammer talk the whole time. Sometimes you have to let 3 or 4 seconds of airtime go just to hear the hear the air, hear the crowd, and stuff like that to set the scene. And he said that's what's hard because he's trying to get all his stories and all his info in a much shorter period of time between pitches.
It's interesting. Hey, appreciate you calling in. Thank you. Great work on the story. I just think the facts and the data that you compiled in there tells a great story and puts it in perspective where it means something to just the average person. And I think that's such a talent because it just means something to the person going out to the ballpark. So thanks for doing that, and appreciate you calling in this morning.
Appreciate it, and I will give a big assist to Josh for a lot of those numbers. He had been compiling all season with his game books. So Josh Duchamp did help with some of those and some of the major league numbers overall. Yeah. I added some of those. But, yeah, he helped. So big assist to Josh Duchamp, and I appreciate you guys for talking about the story.
Appreciate you, Jeff. Be well. Enjoy the weekend.
Thanks, guys.
Take care. Jeff Grammer, he is the New Mexico Sports Writer of the Year. Did you know that? Recognized by the National Sports Media Association. And he's really good. That helps. The third strike, so what do you do? I agree it should be different. I haven't given it any thought, but what if they just told DJ right there, all right, you're warned. You're out of time. Get in the box next time. So now you know. Yeah. All right, dude. I don't want to throw you out, but I have to if you do it again.
A warning makes sense because that's part of pace of play.
Yeah.
You don't want to just get to a certain point where then you stop and you ignore it just because the situation might be a little tighter.
It's a tough one. I mean, because the way it's currently constructed.
That's right. That's a penalty. That's a reason to not do it. Is a strike is called regardless if it's the third strike or first strike.
And there's no other penalty to apply there, right? I mean, what else would it be to stay consistent with the rule? If the penalty on a delay is, I just added a strike to the count, what am I going to do? Dock your pay? Am I going to give you have to, once you hit the ball, you got to stay in the box for 2 seconds before you can run? I mean, that's all it can be. But I understand the sensitivity on the third strike. And so with 2 strikes, I wouldn't mind them extending the clock to 24 seconds and a warning, because you're going to find something in a playoff game in the big leagues and a big moment, and the guy loses track of the time because he's in his own mind. Thanks, Jeff Grammer, for calling. Steph, thanks for sitting in this week. Are you back on Monday?
I'll be here Monday.
All right, so will I. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowherd is after that. 2 men on from the ballpark. Comes your way at 4, and then you get Isotopes in Sacramento. Adrian, great week. Thank you for everything you guys do over at ProView. Big weekend for you?
Huge.
Enjoy it. Have a great, safe weekend, boys and girls. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We will talk to you on Monday. See you.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. Clark.
To the outfield. A run will certainly score. Martinez to second. He'll hold up there. Throw brought back in by Bracamonte. But the Sartans score the first run of the game. It's Lucas Martinez with an RBI.
Breaking ball, and that's grounded to third baseman. Get the lead runner at first, try to get a double play, and they do. Turn 2, and another run scores. Noah Morlock will score, but Achille Karras grounds into a double play. Here's the pitch, and that's a fastball, and that's laced down the right field line. Fair ball. Fair ball. What a hit in the corner there by Griego. Griego will stand up at second, and that'll score another run. An RBI double for Griego.
the high leg kick. He brings it. There's a shot. Martinez jumps, not able to get there. That should bring in 2 runs, and indeed it does. As both Lucas Armijo and Robert Garcia come aboard.